Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 45 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name's Dave McRae. There we go, that's better. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Toronto, Canada. It is Friday night. It's a special episode of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Here on this Friday, November the 8th, 2019, it is 7:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tony, how the hell are you? Look at you rocking that original Freddy Krueger sweater.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm not doing too bad. Getting ready. It's been a busy week prepping last minute stuff for my trip out to California next week, of course, for the Voice Arts Awards and all the stuff happening in regards to that. So I've been busy, been very busy. But hey, you know, for those of you that may not know, now Tony is wearing an original Freddy Krueger sweater. Now, hardcore Fred heads, as they're called, they already know this. Oh, yeah. But not everybody knows that in the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger's sweater, the green stripes were actually only on the chest. They were not on the arms.
Just here. No.
There were no stripes on the arms. It wasn't until Elm Street 2, a year later, when they introduced the stripes on the arms. So
I'm personally a fan of this particular sweater. You know, I don't mind what they did as the series went along, and I have that other version. I'm just not as big of a fan as I am with the OG sweater. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
This is, you know, well, first of all, I mean, like you, this is the first horror movie that I ever saw. You know what I mean? So like this was like my whole introduction to this whole new world that I knew nothing about.
That's
and
right.
It changed my life forever. So yeah, I am definitely, and I take nothing away from those who, you know, prefer the full stripes on the arms and stuff like that. I mean, it's a cool sweater too. I just love the old original,
the old
OG
school
sweater.
the purest, the OG baby,
the OG.
I'm rocking my little Spencer's Freddy Krueger sweater t-shirt here, which is
Nightmare
awesome.
2. I can tell by the face.
That's right. And I love that. I love that look. So I'm rocking my Freddy Krueger sweater today. Hey, before we get started, we are watching, of course, A Nightmare on Elm Street today. We are watching the original A Nightmare on Elm Street and giving live commentary while watching it. So if you guys have A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, whether it's on VHS, whether it's on DVD, whether it's on Blu-ray, I don't think they've released any of the Elm Street films on 4K yet, but I could be wrong. But whatever the medium you have it on, we encourage you to watch it with us. Where Tony and I have it lined up right now is just before the old school New Line Cinema in red pops up on the screen. We actually have it paused where it's just one thin red line across the center of the screen. So if you want to get yours all set up to one thin red line across the middle of the screen, that's where Tony and I have ours ready to go. Tony, I saw you sucking back. Is that a protein shake you're sucking back there, or what's going on?
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
it's a little late in the day for it, but I didn't get one in this morning after my run. So it's a little late in the day for it. It's kind of like my evening dinner too, because I usually like you, I do a bigger lunch during the day, and then like in the evening I do either like a protein shake, like mixed in with a lot of vegetables and stuff like that.
Right.
It's not just like protein powder or nothing else.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I worked out today and had a nice big protein bar after my I had like 30 grams of protein.
That's what I got here for my my movie snack.
Nice. He is ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. He is ready to go. Hey, before we get started though, I just want to say once again, the link is in the description to Dylan's new Nightmare campaign. For those of you that are currently watching live, or maybe you're watching after the fact, there is 6 days left in this campaign. I don't know whether it's going to be extended or not. I'm not a producer on the film, so I'm not privy to that information. But I will say there is 6 days left in the current campaign for Dylan's New Nightmare. For those of you that don't know what that is a fan film that I am going to be a part of. I'm playing Freddy Krueger in this fan film. It stars Miko Hughes, of course, who was the original Dylan Porter in Wes Craven's New Nightmare from 1994. If the name doesn't ring a bell, or you're not like, you can't put a face to, or, face to the name, Miko was a very prominent kid actor in the 90s. He was
big time.
you know, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina kid from Kindergarten Cop. He
He's
was
Michelle
the original
Tanner's best friend.
He was not yet. That's right. Best friend in Full House. He was Gage in the original Pet Sematary.
That's right. I forgot about
Yeah. So, and he still does some acting. I don't know how much he's doing at the moment, but certainly he does, and he's going to cons and all that kind of jazz. So anyway, long story short, I will be playing opposite him in a sequel to Wes Craven's new Nightmare, a fan film, unofficial sequel called Dylan's New Nightmare. And the Indiegogo campaign is currently up right now. It's been up for the better part of a month. They've currently raised close to 40% of what they want. It would be great if we could get to 50% by the time this campaign is done at the very least, because I don't know what their goals are in terms of if they don't raise the set amount, what they're going to do. Obviously, making films is expensive. I know that Cecil and Vincent DeSante, who's the producer as well from Never Hike Alone fame, I don't know if they're going to shoot something. I think that is what they're going to do, but if they don't raise the money they need, they might just end up shooting a scene or two and maybe using that as a concept down the road for something bigger. So if you want to see me take on Miko Hughes in a fully fleshed out, realized 25 to 30 minute short film, then they got to raise the money, because I agree with him too. You know, he said, if we can't, you know, there's no sense in trying to make a $40,000 picture with, you know, $10,000. I mean, it just, you know, the fans don't deserve that. And they want to be able to, you know, give it their all with what they've got. So they might have to adjust things accordingly relative to what they've been able to raise. But again, I'm not a producer on the project. These are just some things I'm hearing and getting through the grapevine as I listen in to what they're talking about. So once again, the link is in the description to the Indiegogo campaign. The perks are absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm talking Never Hike Alone level perks, which makes a lot of sense because Vince is involved in this. And I'm talking Freddy Krueger gloves. I'm talking Freddy Krueger sweaters. I'm talking, digital downloads, Blu-rays of the film, VHS copies of the film, scripts and little Rex dolls from Wes Craven's new Nightmare, and like, just there's tons of stuff there. So check them out if it interests you. Anything you can do to support is greatly appreciated. No matter how big or small, it goes a long way. And if you can't do that financially for whatever reasons, that's okay. Just share it and talk about it with those who you think might be interested, because we want to be able to deliver something really special for you, but we need the help. So, okay. So now and the link is in the description, as well as links to all my other juicy stuff. So now that is out of the way, Tony, should we get started with giving live commentary?
That's right.
On A Nightmare on Elm Street. And why are we doing this? Well, because tomorrow is the 35th anniversary of the release of the original.
That's right. I can't believe 35 years has gone by since that movie hit the theaters. It doesn't seem like it. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like that much time has gone by. It's still very fresh in my mind. You know, that night my babysitter, not intentionally, I guess inadvertently, stumbled upon me walking in the room and seeing Freddy and falling in love and sitting down and just
crazy.
It's this movie. Literally, I say this is the movie that changed my life forever. And I said that a few moments ago. It just totally opened up my whole world to like, oh, okay, we can do this. This is fun. I like this. I want more of this stuff. Well, what the hell?
You bring up such a good point, because I think most guys, especially guys, our age, or maybe a little bit older or a little bit younger, their first introduction into the world of horror, it was Freddy Krueger or Jason, but especially Freddy, because he was really hot in and around the time that we were just old enough to, and I say that sounds so funny because very few not everybody, but very few parents would allow their 5 and 6-year-old to be watching, Freddy Krueger. But that's what it was like in the 1980s. It was a different time, folks. It was a different time.
Today, Yeah, no, parents wouldn't do that today because back then you weren't thinking the way you're thinking now. It's just a totally different world. And I know
Totally
young
different
people
world.
who are younger than us, they can't fathom that. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it just is different.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, no, exactly. So, and Michael Myers' last appearance was Halloween 2 in 1981. So in 1981, that was it. There was not a Michael Myers film again until 1988. So there was like a long time in there where Michael was non-existent. So by the time we got to 5 and 6, it was all Freddy Krueger. It was Freddy, Jason. So Freddy, for a lot of people, was the marijuana into a much larger world of drugs. Kids, don't do drugs. Kids, don't do drugs. It's a terrible analogy.
Well,
but I'm just saying on that matter. But I'm just saying, as the cliche says, you know what I'm saying, right? So, anyway, let's get started here and let's start watching some A Nightmare on Elm Street. Are you ready for this?
I am ready. Tell me when.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and New Line Cinema.
Line is up. Here we go. Yes, sir.
All right, from New Line Cinema, and then it's gone away.
The music, and Fredo is walking into scene.
Yes, he is. He is.
With his baggy pants, too, by the way.
Yep, very baggy pants. New Line Cinema. I've always loved the Smart Egg productions. I remember as a kid going, Smart Egg as opposed to Dumb Egg? Like, I don't get it.
I need to shred up the sleeves a little bit there. I just noticed that. Oh, I remember when she made this for me, she said she was going to make it whole and not shred it and leave that option to me. So I think I'll do that just so that I'm sticking to authenticity.
I love the glasses there. Just the specs that are like as if he wore them at some time or something. Love that. Yeah. This intro is just iconic. It's just fantastic.
It's one of my favorite intros.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just tone of this whole movie. It's just dark, gritty place, with like you would say, mood and atmosphere, and
nobody had seen
the right amount of lighting.
Yes, and nobody had seen anything like this. Like nobody had said, like, what the fuck is he making? Holy shit! Like, it was wild, absolutely wild. It's crazy. Tina.
That's Amanda Barnes. Is that her name, or Amanda?
Yeah, something like that. Why am I blanking on her name?
Good old Heather.
I'm blanking on her name. By the way, folks, the chat room is open. So, like, if you want to send in super chats, you want to ask questions, we will be answering them throughout the stream. Now, keep in mind that we're giving commentary as well. But it's a free for all, folks. It's open. It is. It's his first movie. Introducing Johnny Depp. Good old Johnny. I'm too eccentric and weird to do anything normal. Depp. Fuck. You either cut your fingernails or you stop that kind of dreaming. That's what her mother says in a minute. I love this. Robert Englund as Fred Krueger.
I know, right? We hadn't even gotten to Freddy yet. He's Fred.
Yeah. That's
right. You know what? Does she even say Freddy? Well, we'll know in a little while, or does she call him Fred?
I think I think it's Fred. He's referencing, Fred Krueger, Mom. Fred Krueger. Yeah.
So he's not even Freddy yet. He's just Fred. I actually kind of, that is kind of a creepier name than Freddy, to be honest with you. Freddy has more of a juvenile.
Freddy sounds like we're more acquainted with him, like we're his buddy. Hey, Freddy, what's up?
What's up, Freddy, man? What's going on? Fred's just like, man, you're just some creepy dude. You know what I mean? Like, Fred, I wish that maybe they had stayed with just Fred.
I hear you.
Fucking love this music. Next to the Halloween theme, it's this next in line for horror. If we're talking horror scores and soundtrack.
Yes, 100%. And look at the set design and the production design on this, and the steam that's rolling out, and the lighting, and like it's almost like you can feel the dampness and heat. It's just great. That's genuinely frightening. I mean, nobody had seen this before.
She's running, but she can't run fast, like how we do in dreams. I love that. Yeah, all practical.
Yep.
She was 100%. Just running still, and basically she's running still. That's how they did that, and the camera's just moving into her, so it creates that running and slow, but without slowing down the film.
That's right. That's right. And then he pops up behind her here in a second. Zach Axiola says, "What are some remakes you thought actually worked?" Some remakes I thought actually worked.
I'm guessing in general, like remake. Okay.
in general, I guess.
Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel.
Yeah, that's a good one. 2003, 3 or 4.
Mm.
Yep, that's a good
Are we
one.
talking? I'm assuming we're just talking horror remakes,
I guess
right?
so. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I agree with that. Scarface, which is not a horror movie, but that's
Right.
that's a remake. Not a lot of people know that. Um,
And it's being remade again.
it is. Yeah, it is. Bum, ba, 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 ba. Yeah. I love that line. You better stop that. You better cut your fingernails or stop that kind of dreaming. One or the other. And that guy, her husband, which is Tina's father, I remember when I watched the commentary for this.
And
Wes
for the record, not to
Craven.
cut you off, Dave, this is not the Christine car. So many people think it's the Christine car.
Oh, that's not the Christine
car. It is
car.
not the Christine car. Okay,
No,
first
it's
of all,
not.
the Christine car was not a Cadillac.
Yeah. No, that's not the Christine car. I can tell that by just the grill.
So many people think it is, though.
Oh, because
you know
that's because it's a red
a
older
green
car.
You don't know what you're talking about, Tony. It is the Christine car. I know it is.
No, it's not. Yeah, that guy that was Tina's dad that came in and was like, "Come on, baby, come back to bed." Apparently, that got him his SAG card. Because he had one line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Like he got into the union because of that. I thought that was so funny. Yeah. Robert Ford says, I'm at the moment enjoying American Horror Story Season 9. Never watched an episode, but I hear there's some good stuff in there. See, what's so great about this as opposed to the remake.
So Johnny Depp's first on-screen kiss was with Heather.
I guess it was. And it was a little bit of a peck.
Yeah.
We actually get time with these people before they descend into madness.
Which is what you love, about what I love about it.
Yeah, because you want to get, look, it's a 90-minute horror movie. I mean, there's no time to build all of this massive, juicy character development, but you want the time a little bit to get somewhat emotionally attached to them. Yeah. And in the remake from 2010, as much as, Rooney Mara is attractive, but she, as soon as we're introduced to her, she's like Miss just emo and totally. It's just like everybody's already fucked up, and then I didn't care about anybody, I didn't get that feeling that I'm watching them evolve, and Grave
Warmer at Tony Michael. Did you hear the Scream 5 rumors? Yes, I did. And right now, my thoughts are there's not enough info because I don't know if this is a sequel from Scream 4. Is Nev and David and Courtney involved in the project? Is this a reboot or is this a just continuation without the core characters? I think I need to find out a little more before, making any type of statement on how I feel about it. It was just announced, which announcing something doesn't mean anything until you actually know it's going into production. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way. I was asked about that, and I was like, I don't know anything. I we'll have to wait and see
what they
more information.
Exactly.
I always found the scene funny when he's got the boombox out. He's like, "Yeah, hey mom, yeah, I'm gonna. Hang on, shit, oh fuck."
I bet you kids did that back in the 80s, man. Teenagers to fake out their parents. I bet you they did shit like that.
I didn't do it to fake out my parents, but I did it in the 90s, in the late 90s when I went to college. I did it, honest to God, I did it to prank call people. Like to call, a local restaurant or to call even other dorm rooms. I called a dorm room. I stayed on campus, so I was in a dorm, and I called a couple of dorms, like it was three floors, I think, and I called up to one girl's room and I pretended to be a radio DJ, like she had won tickets to and I was like, I forget her name, but I was like, "And Heather, how are you? This is so and so from 105.7. You've just, now it's a contest. Now, what was the first?" Bought into it hook, line, and sinker.
And of course, back then, this is like kind of on the border of caller ID and all that stuff. So you could get away with pranks like that.
And there were no cell phones, and the internet was in its infancy. I mean, really, at the end of the day. So, there was no social media. I mean, you could do it. Now you can't do that stuff now. I mean, which is too bad. But I have them all on cassette tape still. I should bust those out.
I think the funny thing about this scene here and watching Johnny Depp walk out and, acting all big and tough is like knowing now who Johnny Depp is in real life. Okay.
Yes.
He is not some preppy jock at all. I wonder in
not.
his mind as he's making this scene, like, I can't believe I'm dressed in this freaking
yeah.
polo, not polo. Yeah, it's a polo shirt, I guess. And
like
sweater vest and looking like I belong in a Ralph Lauren freaking catalog. Because he is the opposite of total
100%.
Opposite of that.
Yeah, for sure. Tommy Ricknell sends in a super chat. Thank you, Tommy. He says, imagine the look of Freddy from part 2 in the original. Just saying. Yeah, I actually don't mind his look in the original. I love the look of Freddy in part 2 the best.
Yep.
But because he's still very scary in this movie, it's okay. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it would be. It would take what's already creepy as hell even more, right?
What if they did the look of part 2 and kept the sweater the same?
Ooh, that would be interesting.
The facial look, the mask and all that, but keeping the sweater the same.
Somebody should Photoshop that shit.
Yeah, they really should.
I love
Nick.
Did you see his face?
Nick Corey, I think his name was changed for this film, right? I think he says that in Never Sleep Again documentary.
I can't remember.
They talk about how he changed his name because it sounded too ethnic or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I do. I remember that. Yeah, it was something like that.
Chris Huntley, Tony, did you see Dr. Sleep? No, man, not yet. I'm going to probably see it sometime over the next week. I was out of town for a few days this week on a shoot for a client of mine, so I just haven't had a chance. Did you see it, Dr. Sleep?
No, not yet. No, and I probably won't get to see it until maybe a couple of weeks from now because I'll be away, so... so we're at the scene here where Heather and Glenn are outside just talking.
They just walked inside from me.
Okay. Same here. Yeah. They just walked inside and she's closing the door and Tina's dream is about to happen. Heather's looking outside like, I wonder if there's more. See, like we're actually like it feels
there
like
it is, the fake moans.
That's right. Yep. And she's supposed to be 15 years old. Like, wow, you would not get that now. I know she's not actually 15, but Tina's character is actually supposed to be 15.
Yeah, you're not going to get that's not going to happen. I remember what 16 was like, which is like 1 year later, and it was nothing like that at all.
No, I don't recall 15 being like that. Power Packers 90 says, thank you for the super chat, Power. It says, Dave, please release those crank calls. Yeah, I might. I just have to go search for them. They're in a box somewhere under my stairs, so I gotta do that. The box under the stairs. Hey, The People Under the Stairs, another Wes Craven movie. God,
I miss him. We could so use a Wes Craven film right now. Something new.
Yeah. Or even just to him to be part of the horror culture that is continuing to become more mainstream.
Yeah. So, I think he'd love it. The fact that, how mainstream it's becoming, because he didn't want to be a horror director. He wanted to do a lot of other stuff.
That's right.
The only thing is, though, I will say this, and I know, Tobe Hooper, had that issue. Carpenter, I know, didn't want to be defined by horror as well. But, man, it's like me with Instagram. Once I kind of found my thing and that was working for me, I'm never going to detour for it. It's not like I'm going to switch my Instagram up from horror to like fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
It's like, and I never understood that like concept, because I feel like if I got the opportunity to direct a horror film and I was good at it and people liked it, I'm like, bitch, man, open up the fucking door, back up the money truck and send me as many horror films as you want.
That's right.
And I guess that's just me because I love the genre so much.
Sure.
Just, my heart is there with it. That's what I was starting to say. Whenever I talk about this specific movie, I always tell people, Michael's got my soul, but Freddy's got my heart.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know
I know
like,
what you're saying.
Michael's the shit. He's got my soul, but man, Freddy, because it's the first one, it's your first horror movie. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, dude, you got my heart, bro.
So we're at the scene now where Tina is dreaming, and she's actually. This is one of the scariest. Genuinely, folks, this has got to be one of the scariest, and think of it relative to its time as well. This is one of the scariest scenes ever. Like just the music here. Listen to that music and the way that the stones are hitting the glass, and then there's that
sticking to the glass.
Yeah, and that big chip there in the glass, And Tina's like, what the hell, right? And just, it's so like, Tina. Like, just that kind of stuff. Oh, my God. It gives me goosebumps. It's like, who the fuck is that out there? What is going on? And
I am so recreating this shot one day. I know how they did
coming
this.
through the wall here?
Yeah.
Yes. Isn't that awesome?
It's one of
Look
my
at
favorite.
This
And the silhouette shot of the priest and the exorcist are are easily in my top fave still moments. You know what I mean? If you were to
and this is
capture
all
it as a photograph.
All practical, folks.
Oh yeah, it's spandex.
All practical. Yep.
Spandex like material.
Yep. And you light it a certain way. You help it in post. For sure. Just a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot.
That's what I was starting to say. As far as like if you were to freeze frame shots, like the silhouette of the priest and the exorcist.
Yep.
That is another favorite moment of mine. Michael standing at the top of the stairs.
Right. Gotcha.
I mean, it's just I want to recreate that so bad.
Now this scene coming up here. Listen to the way Freddy says Tina. The very last time he says it, you'll hear like, Tina. And then there's like, Tina. Oh, it's so fucking creepy and eerie and just wild to me. It's coming up. She's at the door right now. She's opening the door. She's coming outside.
Just for Tina.
Not the deep one though, right? There's a deep one coming in just a second. Watch this.
Yes, Robert Ford, you are correct. Charlie Sheen did turn down the role for Glenn.
Yep, he did. Here it comes. Listen to that. Listen, that is frightening.
Tina got a fine ass. I hate to see you go, but I love seeing you walk away.
Oh,
I love this alleyway too.
If
I can find an alleyway like this, I'm so, again, this is just recreating something like that in a shot.
Actually, the alleyway is not too far. I might head out there when I'm there.
Yes, you should take some shots, man. I'd love to see it.
This is so good. Look at this. It's so the uncanny valley.
Oh, the marionette.
It's so weird.
Did that. Yeah, I know.
So weird. All practical.
Is God.
Now, the guy that's about to chase her is actually not Robert Englund. Yeah,
Robert Englund, right?
Is God.
It's the stunt guy, right?
It's the stunt. Yeah, that's not Robert Englund. He's a lot shorter, so she can run into him. Because obviously you couldn't. That's Robert Englund. Yeah, great stuff.
Because they did it in one take, right?
That's right. Yeah, so great. And then the camera falling. Like, this is a genuinely frightening moment.
And I love this.
Oh yeah, watch this.
Simple practical effects, man.
Yeah,
it still holds up.
It does.
Still holds up.
It's so good. So good. I love it.
I gotta tell you, and I might get shit for this, but she's probably my favorite kill of the whole franchise, Tina.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, this whole sequence right here.
Look at this. Oh.
Like, fuck you, Wes Craven, you genius motherfucker.
Like,
I just would have loved to have been on set that day while they were filming this.
Yeah, and it's all practical. It's a set that's turning around. I mean, folks, nobody had seen anything like this in 1984. You're in the theater watching this. It's like, what the fuck? You see the slice on the chest and the blood spill out, and then of course,
and then seeing her going up the wall like that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my god!
And then Amanda, man, you got to give her credit. Her performance is fucking selling this big
fantastic. Look at this, like just the whole idea of going up to the ceiling. The ceiling, we all know that it's actually a revolving room, but I mean, just so unbelievable, and everything was like painted down, not painted down, like held down, strapped down, the bed, it's just, and look at all that blood, and it's just so like even today, watching it today, it's intense. It's an intense scene. The production value is dated, yes, because it's a 35-year-old movie, but when you watch it and you think of it in context, and it's like, shit, that's fucking intense.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
I gotta say, for as green as Johnny Depp was, his reaction to Tina's death, he looks like a seasoned actor. You know what I mean? He looked very natural there for a guy who, essentially never been in front of a camera.
Yeah, 100%.
Good old John! John. Good old
John Saxon, baby. Black Christmas, John Saxon.
Yeah.
Let's see here. A couple super chats came in. Let's see. Or maybe it was just one. No, a couple. Macca525 says, guessing that means Ghostface has your number. I think that might be for you, Tony. I'm not sure what he means. Super chat from Macca525 says, guessing that means Ghostface has your number, because if Michael has your heart and has your soul, Ghostface has your number.
Oh, clever. I didn't even think of it like that. That is clever.
It is.
That is good. I like
Jim
that.
Dorsey,
Ghostface does has my number. Yes.
Jim Dorsey, thanks. Jim says, when I was 7, my mom called my friend's house and made me come home after this movie was over. I never I never pedaled my bike faster my entire life. Yeah, this was, we're at the part now where, of course, Heather and her parents are in the police.
Tina's death was the scene that I walked in on. That's where I picked up for the movie for the first time. That's what I'm walking into as a 6-year-old kid.
Wow.
And the babysitter's like, you need to leave the room. And I'm like, no, I don't. I just sat right down. Like, I need to watch this.
I can't remember.
I can tell you every detail, the layout of the living room and everything. Like, it's like crystal clear. It's like one of those moments I'll never forget.
I will say though that, and she's brilliant. She plays it brilliantly. But Heather's mother, I forget the actress's name. She, to this day, even as a kid and as a teenager and as a young adult, now as a 40-year-old man, when I watch this movie, I can't help but think, fuck, that mother's irritating. I would have, like, she seems like such a completely, which she was. I mean, she was an alcoholic, her character, and to a certain point, she was out to lunch. She was not engaged in her daughter's life at all. She didn't know what the fuck was going on. And you get that. Like, it's just like, baby, what's going on? I just don't understand. It's like, oh, fuck, this woman needs a punch in the head. Just a joke, people. Just a joke. It's figurative, not literal. Talking about the character now. And of course, the Elm Street house, which is literally about a 5-minute drive away from where I'll be staying, because I'm staying in Hollywood again.
Please take some pictures.
Yeah, I might go over there, maybe if I have some time, and do maybe a live stream from there. I'm not sure, but the house, of course, in the original Elm Street, we're at the scene now where the mother is talking to Heather in the kitchen. The Elm Street house in the original film here, if you notice, actually has a blue door.
That's right, not the red door.
That's right. In the subsequent sequels, it has a red door. And I believe, unless they've changed it, up until the last time I was there, which was just this time last year, they kept the red door.
Yeah, no, someone just posted a picture of it around or on Halloween. Someone was there and took it, and I saw it, and it's still red.
It's still red. Okay. Yeah. And of course, the interior of the actual Elm Street house served as the interior of the Strode house in the
day sequences.
The day sequences for the extra footage shot for the TV version of Halloween. Yep. Hopefully you guys followed that all right. Sarah Carter says, Dave, do a meetup. A meetup. Oh, a meetup with who? With fans? I don't know if I'll have time. I'm going to be so busy that week because the award show is sort of the thing that ends the entire week, and there's other things I'm doing, so I just don't know if I'm going to have the time to do that, unfortunately. And, of course, I'm also getting my face cast done and all that stuff, so if that's what you meant. Maybe that's not what you meant.
John Saxon getting all dirty, hairy like.
Look at that. Look at the way.
And he's
look at that angle. He's got the gun like this. He's like this.
Step away from her nice and easy, buddy.
Look at him running down the street in his bare feet and his jeans and and I like that. I like that choice because it's like he hasn't had time to go home. He hasn't been home. He literally left, and he knows that people are going to think he did it. So he left. He's just in his jeans. It looked like he just finished fucking his girlfriend. This is what it looks like. So
for real.
Yeah. So I love that he's got no socks, no shoes. He's got no shirt, just his jacket and his pair of jeans. I like that. And he's just like as if he slept all night on a park bench somewhere.
That's what's her name. She became a producer right throughout the franchise.
Well, yeah, that's Shay. What's her face there? Yeah, Insidious and the Insidious. Well, to modern horror fans, Lynn Shay, I believe, is her name. Modern horror fans will be able to recognize her from the Insidious
Yep.
films, but she and I believe she's
even
done
has a
really
role well in the horror genre. She's done a lot for us, you know.
She has. Is she not Bob Shaye's sister? I think.
I
think it's sister.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think it's sister. Anyway,
I love Wes's direction on this and how he had the guy read it both ways, normal, and then with just that silent whisper to flip it into the dream sequence. I fucking love that.
You see, I agree 100%. One of the things I love about the original Elm Street is the fact that the dream sequences are very grounded in reality.
Yes.
They feel like real dreams. There's no gigantic, outlandish, extravagant set pieces. The dreams don't feel carnival-like. They don't feel overly sensational.
That's what I started to hate about the sequels, you know? It became like, I'm not buying this. Like, this is more realistic.
Yes, the more and more the sequels went on, especially when you get to the Dream Child and Freddy's Dead. I mean, they're just so... that Freddy's not... who cares about him?
Jump the shark.
Yeah, and who cares about him? At the end of the day, the set pieces were so lavish, and but with the first Elm Street, the second one too, but the first one especially, is very grounded, as if Freddy is invading your world. He's invading our world. We're not going to his world. He's invading our world. That's why, everything feels so grounded in reality. And sometimes watching this obviously by the time it gets to this point, you would assume that she's probably sleeping.
Screw your hall pass.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Or screw your pass.
Screw your pet. And of course she's wearing, oh my God, Tony!
She's wearing a sweater.
She's wearing your sweater, man! But yeah, like, I just love how it's like Freddy's invading your world. Whereas the later sequels, it's like goes to his world. And yeah, I love that. No running in the hallways.
And just when you watch this, guys, I mean, look at crazy decisions. It's just very simple lighting. Like, it's not complex. Like, you don't need, like Dave was saying there a moment ago, you don't need all this CGI over the top shit to make a great horror film. You take the formula of Halloween and look at what Wes did here in Nightmare, man, and this is it. This is as simple as it gets, but it works.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's like she's dreaming right now. Think of Elm Street 6, Freddy's Dead. Think of Elm Street 5. Think of Elm Street 4, right? And I'm not, look, if you love those films, that's okay. I'm just saying, think of the dream sequences in those movies. Now, all of a sudden, look at your screen, look at Nancy, and tell yourself she's dreaming right now.
Right.
Like, it's night and day. It's very grounded in reality, and that's what I love about it. It feels like a dream that you would have.
Yep.
It doesn't feel too carnival or over the top. And Freddy is genuinely frightening. He's not, it's a boy!
I love that.
Oh, God.
Robert's perfectly silhouetted. He's got that James Cagney type stance.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at the hat, too. It's like the brims is sort of up a bit. Like it's ooh, look at that. He's showing some nipple action.
James Cagney walk. That's how he came up with the walk, was more of a James Cagney walk, and a old cowboy gunslinger was the stance.
That's right.
I got those two mixed up.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at this. It's just, you see, you didn't need...
It's a real boiler room. It's not a set.
No, that's true. And you didn't need the dreams to be crazy outlandish, because Freddy was he was what was frightening. The focus was on him, right? In the later sequels, it almost, I hate to say it, but especially when you get to 4 and 5 and 6, it's almost like Freddy is irrelevant. Like, it's just what sensational dream sequence can we do after another? That's what it felt like. Whereas Freddy was like an afterthought. Freddy is front and center in the first one especially, but certainly in the first couple. Let's see.
And for those who are just tuning in and are curious why the movie isn't showing up on YouTube, copyright.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, no, we can't show it because we don't want to. I mean, our show gets dinged anyway, which is why, which is
I have
so.
no idea why.
Our show gets dinged every time we do a show Tony and I, it does not get approved for monetization. So so the show will definitely be relying on super chats for sure.
Wow, I can't believe it gets demonetized.
Well,
we don't even use copyright material.
It doesn't get demonetized fully, but it gets limited. It gets a yellow check, which means essentially that it's not suitable for all advertisers, and that's generally probably because the title is Two Dudes and Some Bullshit, and of course we swear in our shows. I'm just like, whatever. I don't do this for the money. I mean, I'm doing it because I love the show, so I'm not going to censor myself and just because, oh, now, you're not... Fuck off, YouTube. I love
that
this.
simple melody.
Yes. Yep. And look, she's looking to her arm, and it's just like,
and it's just coming to that realization with her, like,
right.
Wait, this shit is really fucking going down, man. What the hell is going on?
That's it. That's what I'm talking about, man. Grave Warmer says, hey, Dave and Tony, with a Scream remake or sequel, could they change the look of the killer and ditch the phone and shake it? Well, if they do all that, then is it really Scream?
Yeah, I mean, you lose the whole concept of what Scream is. It wouldn't be, and that would be the first thing people would criticize about, is that that's not a Scream movie.
That's right. It's like saying, hey, could they make an Elm Street film, but ditch the
burn
glove guy and ditch the glove and ditch the hat? Yeah, they could.
Yep.
That's why I think Scream, really at the end of the day, Scream really should not have been a franchise. It should have been a one and done film, because the shtick of that movie, what makes that movie so fun to watch, it's shticky, right? It's got a very sort of shticky like it's gimmicky, and it breaks the fourth wall a time or two. I mean, look at, Wes Craven's in the movie as the janitor, and in the Freddy sweater, and he plays Fred. It's so, to make a franchise out of Scream, which okay, but it's like, now technology's changed so much that what made Scream work, which was the telephone, you're kind of like, okay, now you have to adapt and make a Scream movie that's really modern and for the times, and that's not gonna, some people are not gonna like that, but it's like, well, nobody's picking up their phones anymore as well. It's one of the things that Black Christmas runs into as well, and one of the things that Bruce and I, when we were developing It's Me, Billy, we were faced with as well, is that how do we make this modern while still being true to the IP? And so Scream, I know there are fans out there that love it as a franchise, but really it's more of a one and done film, because of that's like, once the cat's out of the bag and how the magic is done, it's like, well, that's it. Like, and that just becomes the same thing over and over and over and over. I think Wes stressed.
This is another favorite scene of mine. You know what I mean? I love the shot. I've got the autograph back there with her in the tub, and again, it's just another great shot. One
of the most iconic scenes and shots in horror history.
Literally,
is right here.
That's not even understating it. That is literally.
I would love to have been a teenager in the movie theater in 1984 watching this scene. First of all, you go, oh, she's kind of cute. She's in a bathtub. Ooh, yeah. As all teenage boys would do. Oh, and then the glove comes up, like this shot here. Oh, imagine seeing this for the first time in 1984. It'd be like, oh, shit. Like, it would have been like, oh, my God. The tension must
have been crazy in the theater.
Oh, the tension. Oh, my God. Brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant. You should recreate that for a photo.
Planning.
I love it.
I've already got that in the works with someone. So.
I'll be your model.
Oh, shit.
You imagine it's a dude.
Macaulay Culkin's brother was in Scream 4. Someone, 11 High or High. I can't even see it. Yeah, that was Culkin's brother.
Was it? I've only seen Scream 4 once. It was a few years ago.
Thank you, Heather, for the side boob shot. I appreciate
that's right.
that every day.
Side boob. Now, this is a swimming pool, actually.
Yeah, it's a little pool.
Yeah.
Love the laugh
so well.
As the soundtrack in the background.
Yes.
Love that.
I love that stuff. So good. It's so maniacal, but not the, you know, ha 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 ha, not that laugh that the character developed later. The laugh you hear in this one, it's all very, you know, like it's very sort of like, ooh, fuck off, buddy. Like that's just creepy shit, you know?
And she still looks good, Heather. She looks really good.
Heather looks great. Yeah, she's aged naturally and she looks good. What is she? 55, 56, 54, somewhere around there? She's got to be in her early to mid 50s, I think.
They will let us know in the chat. I know she's younger than Curtis.
Yes. Curtis is 60, 61, I think.
Yeah.
I think Heather's like, I'm going to say, no, she's not
70.
She's not 70. She's not 70. No.
She's definitely not 43.
She's not 43.
She's not 3 years older than me and Dave.
No, she is 55.
55, okay.
Yeah, she's 55.
What movie is this that she's watching on the tube, Dave McRae?
Oh, let me see. Did I miss it? No, I didn't miss it, did I? Oh, I think you must be a couple of seconds ahead of me. Oh, I must have missed it. Did I miss it?
Did you?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, Evil Dead. Right? Am I right? Evil Dead? Evil Dead.
Not Jaws. Someone said Jaws in the chat.
Am I right? Evil Dead?
Yes.
Yeah. Evil Dead. Yeah, that's right.
It's Ash.
And Glenn's going to show up. I think you might be a couple of seconds ahead of me. I don't know why.
That's
said it.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. There's the house. And that house, folks,
You got Nancy and Glenn in the window right now?
Yep, right now.
Once again, recreating a scene there,
Romeo
Wes Craven in Scream.
Oh, yes, he did.
He does it with Billy and
Nev Campbell,
Nev Campbell or
Sydney, yep.
Sydney.
Yep, and now the Elm...
Most people don't know that, too. Do you know that's the thing?
Right.
Because Scream being a tribute to horror films, no one caught on to the fact that when Billy goes into Sydney's room for the first... I mean, he's recreating the Nightmare on Elm Street scene between Glenn and Nancy.
Right. And what's Billy's last name?
Loomis.
The Halloween reference right there. Now, this, the Elm Street house, for those of you that may not know, I say this a lot, but sometimes people don't know, is literally only about a 3-minute walk from the Doyle and Wallace house. They're both off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're both, they're two different streets, but they're down from each other, and they're both off of Sunset Boulevard. Yeah. And like right in the heart of Hollywood. You wouldn't know it. You would think this is no. Like you literally walk 30 seconds away from this house and you're on Sunset Boulevard with massive traffic and all that. Oh yeah, it's so funny. So funny. Really easy to get to as well.
Michael Anderson, Tony, where did you get the Freddy sweater? This was made by a woman in Australia for me. She hand knit this. In fact, the Freddy picture that I'm going to post tomorrow on the official anniversary date, I'll tag her in on my post on Instagram, and then you guys can, hit her up and, give her some business. I can't recommend it enough. It's comfy. I'm wearing it during the stream. It's definitely something that I could see myself not just wearing during a photo shoot to shoot Freddy photos.
Yeah, just wear it out.
Kind of hanging out, lounging around, and it's definitely a cool sweater.
How long did it take to get her to make it for you?
Well, bear in mind, I ordered it in September, which was at the height of Halloween season, and she's making a ton of Freddy sweaters for people who were Freddy for Halloween. Right. So I'm assuming now it's probably going to be a little bit slower for her for these types of requests, because we're out of, Halloween season.
Right. Gotcha. Love the fog here. Now, as you can see, the scene here with Nancy walking across the property, she's almost like she's walking to the neighbors, like across the property. You can't do that now. There's big hedges there now. There,
right.
Yeah, there's big hedges there now. Probably see, before this movie, nobody was going to this house. Ever since this movie, and certainly the series, they probably put up a bunch of hedges for extra privacy.
Yeah. Michael Anderson, yes, that's exactly what you said there with wearing this sweater for Christmas. This is my officially now will become my ugly Christmas sweater from now on. For every party I go to, this is what I'm gonna rock. Keep the horror alive.
Keep the horror alive, bitches. Keep the horror alive. The Trash Stash says part 3 makes no sense. The hospital is not on Elm Street. I see what you're saying. Well, yeah. I guess if you were to take it literally, A Nightmare on Elm Street, I understand what you're saying, but you could also say that Friday the 13th part. I mean,
Well, the high school here in the movie's not on Elm Street.
No, it isn't. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It just means that it's referring to the kids that lived on Elm Street.
Right.
Yeah. So, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say, so what I told you was true from a certain point of view.
Point of view.
Yeah, the set design's fantastic. Gavin Moore says, remake with Ben Stiller as Freddy. Nah. ACDC 113089 says, Tony, have you been to Savannah? Great photo
Georgia?
ops.
Oh yeah, I go there all the time, probably about 3 or 4 times a year, whether it's for client stuff or just casual. Savannah's a great city. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful, old, historic. If you're into ghosts and things like that, it's definitely a cool place to go visit. One of our oldest cities in the country.
Very cool. Very cool. I have not.
You'd like it. It'd be a good trip for you and your girl.
Yeah.
A little getaway. You guys would like it there.
That'd be
very
good.
old and historic.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Here comes Freddy walking in. He's walking through the bars. He's going to walk through the bars in a second. Glenn?
And he's not wearing the glove at that point. Did anybody catch that?
Freddy's not wearing the glove?
If you watch that scene
again,
as
he walks through the bars.
You're right, he's not wearing the glove.
You're right.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I wonder if that was so they could create the effect. There was something with the glove where they couldn't do it. I don't know. That's interesting. It could be a goof, but it might not be.
Poor Amanda. I've heard about this scene.
Oh,
talk about a trooper, man. That's real, guys. This is not fake. This is what you call a fucking champ.
It's not real coming out of her mouth. That's a
what's
on the ground.
I think I'm still like a second or two ahead of you. That's why.
Yeah. What's at her feet is real. Now, this is the scene here where coming up, somebody who directed this now? Wasn't it was it Tobe Hooper that directed this one shot here? Or was it Carpenter?
I think so. Is this shot?
Yeah, when Freddy tosses the trash can aside. I thought it was when either Tobe Hooper or Carpenter. I can't remember now. I think it was Hooper maybe. I can't remember.
And again, even little things like this where she's getting stuck in the staircase,
She does, but
I
look
love
at
these ideas that they came up with to create these dream sequences.
I love it too. But if you notice, the getting stuck in the stairs must have been like a second or third take because there's a couple of steps where you can see that they filled it.
Filled it, yeah. No, I know.
So it's kind of like, okay.
Movie making, man.
Yeah, practical. And, let's not forget that although Elm Street wasn't a low budget movie like, say, Texas or Halloween, it wasn't a high budget movie. It would have been considered lower budget for its time.
You have to remember, back in the day, the still photographers who were on set to take the shots for the director for continuity, they were doing shit with Polaroid cameras.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how they were doing their best to keep the continuity of the scene going.
That's it.
They didn't have the luxury today that we have with digital cameras and shit.
That's right. That's right. No, that's right. There's always somebody on set, certainly way back in the day, their sole job was to take photos, Polaroid photos, when people would yell cut or break for lunch or whatever the case was. Take photos of the set, take photos of the actor's hair, take photos of whatever. So
clothes,
they could close everything so that when they go back to the set and to begin the scene or another take, they can look at the photos and make sure that everything lines up correctly, even if a piece of hair is out or something like that. Yeah. And then now, of course, it'd be so much easier because they're probably taking it all on their phones. And you can zoom up and shit. Where you couldn't do that with Polaroid. Ba-na-na-na. Sean Cunningham. That's it. Sean Cunningham. I said the two other guys that I missed Sean Cunningham. Thank you. 111 high. Sean Cunningham directed that one scene. That's right.
Damn, Nancy's mom's hot. Really not.
She had sex head, and she wasn't even having sex. She was having sex with her bottle. That didn't sound right at all, but you know what I mean. Zach Frederick, super chat. Thanks, buddy. Hey guys, how you doing? Tony, love your sweater. From Zach Frederick.
Thank you, Zach. Garcia.
And we have Glenn and Nancy are at the police station. Just check on him, Daddy. Just check on him. That's going to happen in a second here.
So are you up to where the blanket's moving?
The blanket's moving right now. Yep.
I love this. Again, for 1984,
Yep.
you know, CGI is not really a thing. You know what I mean? It's not
Yep.
like it is today. This would still hold up better today than a lot of the CGI effects that they do in horror movies.
Yep, I
You know
agree.
what I mean? Because it
100%.
looks
It
so
looks great.
real. I mean,
Yeah.
it is real. It's
It
practical.
is.
It's a practical effect.
That's right. Yeah, no, it looks great. I
think-
totally buy it. I buy into it 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's why, you know, so I forgot what I was watching here, but someone brought this up and made a very valid point on something, which is what I use it as a metaphor for my photos, and I can't remember the main quote, so I'm like drawing a blank on that. But my point is, the reason why I don't do a lot of blood and shit in my photos is because at the end of the day, when people look at the photos and I have a victim in the shot, and if I had the victim all bloodied up and shit like that, well, you know it's fake. You know she's alive. You know we didn't kill her. But it's the shots when you're just about to stab someone, like, okay, that's fucking disturbing. That's like, you know, that's why I like the realism of my photos versus to like what people are doing with CGIs and
Right.
and I take nothing away from makeup artists and the shit that they do. It's great work, but you know, at the end of the day, well, that chick is fine or that person's fine and
Right.
they're not dead. And
Well, your photos are very they're very promotional photos in terms
Right.
of a moment.
right,
You know, a moment just before or a moment it's capturing the essence of the moment. It doesn't need to be, and that's not knocking those that do, but you just have a different style, you know, and you got to make it your own at the end of the day. And I
Yeah.
think it's great.
Oh, it was Rob Zombie. He was on Joe Rogan and he said something along the lines of comparing his not just his movies but horror movies in general to like Marvel and Star Wars, and he's
Right.
like, I forgot what Rogan's question was, and I'm paraphrasing what Rob Zombie said, but more or less Rob Zombie said, "Look, I'll take a guy in a sack with a sack, you know, and an axe in his hand coming at me to be more believable than fucking the shit that they show people doing
100%.
in outer space and what, because that's
Yep.
that's not fucking real. What we're
right.
doing is at least a little bit more realistic."
Yep. No, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment for sure. Let's see here. Kevin Dobson says they did in Freddy's. Oh, you guys are just chatting amongst each other. That's good. That's good. Keep chatting.
Yeah.
Keep chatting amongst yourselves. That's always good. Let me see here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I don't
Yes,
think I did.
Robert Ford. That is Freddy's gloves behind me, somewhere over there by the Michael mask.
Yep.
And
I should
the
have
album.
brought mine out. I got mine is down there.
That's the original pressing of the 1984 vinyl soundtrack that I've had since the 80s.
Nice. Heather Langenkamp, folks. The Trash Stash says they should make one where Freddy gets arrested and goes to jail.
Oh, a prequel?
I think they should make one where Freddy Krueger jumps on an ox and rides through Times Square. I love this. I've always liked this moment where Heather is telling her parents about her dream and the camera's zooming up like they know. Like, think of how scary that would be. Think of how scary that would be for anybody, that someone starts dreaming about somebody that you yourself have a interesting history with. Especially in that, like that would be eerie. That'd be really eerie.
100%.
Yeah, I love the look on John Saxon's face when they zoom up on him and he realizes, holy fuck, my daughter's talking about Fred Krueger.
Fred Krueger, right.
The guy that I torched, whatever, however many years prior. Now, for those of you that may not know, this is one of my favorite scenes in this movie, just because I think I love the whole... just the idea of being able to bring that out of the dream world, and her hair is gray.
Sure.
This actor here, I forget the actor's name. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyway, the doctor, the actor in this scene, the doctor, that is the voice of Roger Rabbit, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is. He's been in a lot of stuff. I can't think of his name either.
But isn't it Ari something?
He's done a lot. Yeah.
Chat room will let us know. I think his name is Ari Charles Fleischer. Charles Fleischer? Charles Fleischer. Okay, that's what it is then. I was gonna say Ari Fleischer, but that's somebody else.
Yeah, Charles. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
Charles Fleischer. Yeah,
You know what I
he
mean?
has, and
He's
he's
great
a
in
really nice
Zodiac.
guy.
Have you seen him in Zodiac?
Yeah,
He's
well,
really
Zodiac's
good.
a fantastic film.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
creepy in that movie.
Please, Eddie, please. Yeah, Roger Rabbit. Too bad they never did anything more with that character.
I don't know. The One and Done, I kind of like that, you know?
I like it too, though. It's a classic film.
Yeah, I'm glad
It's a
they
great
never
movie.
ruined it with a sequel.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies I'm glad it held on without getting a fucking sequel.
And of
Because I don't
course-
think you can really recapture that shit again.
No. Tip our hat to Dean Cundy, who was the director of photography on
He was.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Hoskins is still alive, right? Because he plays the cop.
No,
in-
Bob Hoskins died.
He did.
He did. He died about, I want to say, within the last.
That was one of my favorite
5-10
roles of
years.
his. I mean, he was a great actor.
He was great.
He was great
He was
in
great.
Hook. I love him in Hook as Smee.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's great. There's a little movie from the early 90s, about 91. It's sort of a suspense thriller, and it's called Shattered. And Bob Hoskins is in that, and he's really good in that too. He's well, and of course he was great in Mermaids with Cher and whatnot. He was a great actor. Yep.
I love how they got the TV monitor and you see the rapid eye movement. Like, I mean,
Yes.
Heather had to really fucking sell that shit to get the eye going so you can catch it on camera.
100%. And I love when the doctor's like, hang on, we've never seen anything like this, my God. Like it goes to show you the level, like how serious this must be, the power that Freddy Krueger has in this dream world to be able to make the charts just
And
go
I'm
off
glad
the chart,
they didn't
essentially.
show you
The
her
readings.
dream. You know what I mean? I'm
Yes.
glad we're seeing more the physical part of what it would look like someone watching her in a
Yes.
dream with Freddy. Because
brilliantly
they could have easily just shown the sequence. Like,
100%.
but I'm glad that you get the sound of the knives and whatnot. And
Yep.
then of course, here's
That's
your
right.
part
I
where
mean,
she brings the hat
that's
out.
like fucking Exorcist shit. But
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Brilliantly said, Tony. A great point that you don't see what she's dreaming. So now, because you're in a room of science, you're in sort of that objective, safe sort of spot. You're seeing this from an objective point of view of what you would look like when you dream of or have that kind of a dream. And that's great too, seeing the slice on her arm. Her hair is gray. And of course she's able to pull out the fedora. Look at the
fedora.
mother's face. Look at the mother's face. Watch when she says, I pulled it out from my dream or something. The look on the mother's face is fantastic. Just this right there.
Yep.
Just total like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
I love
what
that
the
classic
fuck?
80s pan down shot to the house. You don't
Yep.
see a lot of pan down shots anymore from cinematographers. It's not a move you don't see as much.
Not
It's
a
a move
lot.
they definitely executed a lot back in the day,
That's
but
right.
you don't really see too many cinematographers do that
That's
nice
right.
pan down shot, of course, with the blue door there of the house.
That's
You
right.
saw.
That's right. I agree. Where am I here? There we go.
And I loved
yeah.
how, again, pulling from truth, pulling from what Wes Craven experienced in his own life, the things that we begin to see here Nancy do with drinking the coffee. Then eventually we see it escalate later on in the film here where she's got coffee hidden in her room.
That's
reading
right.
reading those stories of, I think it's Asian kids, right? That were having, is it, I'm almost positive it's an Asian ethnic
yes,
group.
yes. It
that-
was Vietnamese maybe or something.
Something
It was
like that. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, they were stories from the 70s that Craven would read about, and frightening shit. I think he
Frightening
read them
shit.
in the
Reading
LA
like the
Times.
kid would actually have like a Mr. Coffee hidden in his room.
Yes.
And the sleep awake pills or stay awake pills and shit like that. You know what I mean?
This is when she's saying Fred Krueger, Mom.
Fred Krueger.
Fred Krueger. Yeah, there it is. Fred. Do you know who that is, Mom? And apparently it's written in his hat.
Yeah, because we used to write our names in our clothes back in the day.
Oh, of
Just
course,
so we
of course.
we knew it was ours. Did your mom ever do that? My mom never did that.
No, my mom never did that either. Let's see here.
Smack. The smack heard around the world.
That's right. Jason Willie says, we do not need a Jaws remake. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jason, for saying that. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Ryan Bickham says, he's talking to somebody else. Jason the Tank Engine says, I wonder what it'd be like if Freddy himself had a nightmare. A movie with basically reversal to the usual rules. It's too meta for me. Wes Craven's new Nightmare is getting...
Deadpool shit.
Yeah, Wes Craven's new Nightmare, I think, is as meta as I want to get with Elm Street and Freddy. Freddy doesn't dream. Freddy
You broke her boobs, man. What the fuck?
Freddy doesn't dream, folks. Freddy is the dream. Freddy is an entity. Now, there's somebody who's literally, or should be, literally supernatural.
No. This is a very, very popular bridge. Mm-hmm. Very heavily photographed. A lot of photographers use this bridge. Sometimes what do they call that there in LA? The water there, but where it's not a river. There's a word for it.
Talking about.
Anyways, where that water is when it's dried up, sometimes a lot of skaters go down there and skate and shit. But that specific spot I've seen photographed so many times.
Right.
Damn, what the hell is the name of it? It's not a river.
I forget. No, it's not.
There's a specific name for it.
Yeah. Californians in the LA area, let us know. Johnny Depp. Big old Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. Spike Money says, the end of the movie is definitely disappointing in my opinion.
That's a Bob Shea move. I know Craven and Bob Shea disagreed a lot over the ending.
They did. Craven wanted to end it, and that was it, and Shea wanted it left open for a sequel.
Yep.
You don't even need to do a sequel after that ending. I mean, even the ending as is, you don't need to do a sequel. Booby traps. She's preparing herself. Look at those eyebrows on Heather. She was very cute. Very, very pretty young.
Still is.
Young girl. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying she was a good looking girl.
I'm trying to think how I would have done the ending if I was to just, if I were to make it either be viewed as two ways, a definitive ending or left open as a sequel. I'm trying to think of how I would have done it different.
Well, all you'd have to do is when they're in the car.
Well, no, I wouldn't have even alluded to that. I would never have brought back. I do agree with that. That's the only downfall is bringing the characters back to make you think they're alive.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I probably would have done something maybe where it's just Nancy alone. And some sign or something that makes the audience go, oh, is he still alive? You know what I mean? Like it's something, but I would just have it just as Nancy, you know?
Yeah.
Or Nancy and her parents or something like that.
Gotcha. Yep. I gotcha. Coming up to the scene now where the mother, while drinking and smoking, has some exposition and shares the story of Fred Krueger. Cinemagic says, good evening, guys. Have you checked out Dark Fate yet? Greetings from Norway. I have. I checked it out. I thought Terminator Dark Fate was a serviceable sequel. I didn't think it was great. I didn't like oh my God. But I thought it was
sequel to T2.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Look, okay. I'm not one of those people. There's something that happens at the very beginning of the movie that either people are going to be like, oh, okay, or people are going to be very upset over. And
Furlong was in this, right?
Well, from a certain point of view.
Okay, fair enough. You'll have to tell me after the stream is over.
Yes.
So we don't spoil it.
Yes, I will. But there's a decision that's made that no doubt pissed a lot of people off. To me, I just was like, meh. Oh
God, please tell me it doesn't alter T2's ending.
No, see, a lot of people feel that it makes T1 and T2 pointless. I don't think it does, because what they set out to accomplish in T1 and T2, they still accomplished. It's just that now the future has changed again.
Okay.
There's just, yeah. A couple super chats came in. Eric Olson. Thank you, Eric. Much appreciated. Says, hey, guys, great job as always. Do you guys have a big movie collection? If so, where's a great place to get movies for a good price? I don't, funny enough, I have probably not as many as the big collectors out there. I probably have about 500 Blu-rays and DVDs, which might sound like a lot, but then when you go to the big collectors out there who have 5,000, it's not a lot.
That's what I have got. I've got 675 just in horror. Digitally though, because I have my VHS still, and I don't have a lot of those left.
Well, see, I guess that's what. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about physical media or digital.
Yeah, because digital, I'm easily in the 5,000 to 6,000 range for digital movies. When you talk about all the genres combined together, because like I said, I've got about 675 for horror movies.
Right.
Trying to hit that 1,000.
I haven't purchased digital yet. So I would say, and the best place to buy movies, well, I don't know. I mean,
I get mine on Apple TV. That's where I get mine.
If you're looking at physical media, I mean, you can always, if you're looking for cheap, you can always, I mean, if you're looking for the latest releases, well, then you can just go to your local Target or Walmart.
Yep.
But if you're looking for more obscure, older titles, and you got to look for like one of those stores that sell those old movies,
Yes.
Or online, Amazon, or, whatever. So Glenn and Nancy are talking on the phone. Ragdoll sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Did you enjoy the old school Treehouse of Horror parody of Nightmare? Groundskeeper Willie as Freddy. Classic. I don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking about an old Simpsons episode. You don't remember that one? The Treehouse. That was a Treehouse a Halloween episode.
No, because I've only watched about 4 or 5 episodes of The Simpsons in my entire life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not a Simpsons fan. I just never got into them as a kid. So
I haven't watched them steadily, I would say, in the last decade, but definitely through the 90s, I didn't miss them. I watched them a lot.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
But in the early 2000s, I would just kind of drift on and off occasionally or whatever. But I always would watch and I still do, their Treehouse Horror episode every year.
Right.
I do watch that. I do look forward to watching that every year.
My girlfriend was a big fan of The Simpsons back in the 90s when she was a kid, and she'll often use pop culture, references from that show that I won't understand. So Nancy just said, of course, one of the most famous lines from the movie, which is, "Whatever you do, don't fall asleep." That's very enunciated. Whatever you do.
Look at that retro room, man. Kids today would be freaking out over a room like that. Glenn's room.
I'd be
with all the retro shit.
Dude, I just want his little crop top.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Johnny Depp had to be going nuts because he's not a jock, even though he's playing a jock. But he's the total opposite of that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
There's the phone.
There's the phone. I know, you got it.
Right there, baby.
I'm your boyfriend now.
Yeah. ZGoR Skate 45 says, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Do you guys like Slumber Party Massacre? I don't know if I think I've seen that, but not in a long time. I can't remember.
A minute since I've seen Slumber Party Massacre.
It's been a long time.
To be honest with
you. Number 10. You're going down, Depp. You're going down.
Poor Johnny.
Poor Johnny Depp.
On the spot.
Johnny on the spot. Oliver Mercer says, but it's a shocking change, but I've written a treatment idea for T7, T4 that would mix an interesting spin I don't know.
He's talking about a Terminator sequel?
He must be. Yeah, say goodbye to your kid. It's the last time you're going to see him. Last time you're going to see Mr. Sexy Depp, Mr. Hot Hunk Depp. Oh, my God. His mother's such a... I love
drunk.
how she's a drunk.
You're the drunk.
Oh, I think I heard Xena bark. Is that your dog that barked?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh.
Now I'm here. Oh, maybe it was. Okay,
Yeah, I think it was.
I didn't hear it for a second there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
yeah. Yo, dog.
Heather had a nice little rump on her too. She did. I can't help it. I mean, she's wearing her shirt. You know, you're seeing just the tip of it, so it's like, you know. I mean, of course, I'm gonna look.
She's very attractive.
Showing a little leg.
She's showing a little leg. Just a little leg.
A little back. She had a nice back. She got the little dimples there on the back.
Yeah. Oh wait, she's gonna.
That's
one
of the sexiest. I'm not gonna lie. That is one of the sexiest features on a woman's body is the little dimples on their back. I'm not that. That to me it is, especially with the little curve there. Whew. Yeah.
Tony, do you need some ice? Do you need a moment?
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm
You're good.
good.
The bars on the windows. She looks over to Glenn's house.
This dude is funny. I don't want that kid hanging out with our son.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't have burnt. Well, no, I guess maybe they should have burned. I don't know. Burned old Freddy Krueger. Burned old Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger. Dun, 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 dun. Zachary Clark says, I finally got to see the original Nightmare on Elm Street on the big screen last week. So awesome. I'm jealous, buddy. I'd love to see it on the big screen. I've yet to
Gamer night. I'm a pig. I'm a pig for saying the sexiest feature on a woman is her back lower dimples. I mean, it would be one thing if I was talking about maybe more personal body parts, but Jesus, man, fucking grow a pair here or down there and fucking get over it. You know, I don't know how you identify yourself. So,
oh, he might be just playing with it. He might be sarcastic. I don't know. Mac525, thanks, buddy. Says robots suck cough, RoboCop, Halloween, to name a few. Reboots. Excuse me.
Reboots.
I read that incorrectly.
Huh?
No, I read that.
Whatever you're smoking, I want some of that.
I had the mic. You see the mic here? It was in my field of view, so I saw robots. No, reboots suck. Cough, RoboCop, Halloween, to name a few.
Oh,
yes, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rob Zombie's Halloween was okay. I didn't mind that. This second one is a fucking train wreck.
It's a dog shit. Da 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 da. Yeah. Come on, let her talk to her boyfriend. Glenn's asleep. You'll have to call him tomorrow. You see,
right, man.
You just got to know how to handle these kids. Imagine if he turned around and he said, listen, you just got to know how to handle these kids, okay, bitch? Can you imagine? Like, what the fuck? Why is that man so angry?
I remember, too, back in the day, especially when we were just getting old enough to talk on the phone, when we'd get in trouble and the parents would take the phone off the hook. Nope, phone privilege is gone.
Yep.
Now, in retrospect, when you think about it, it's like, how hard would it be to just walk in the room and put the phone back on the hook? You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. I agree.
Of course, then that's when you get whooped.
Yep.
This shot, I am 100% re-fucking creating. That's why I got the phone, and I know who I'm recreating it with. She's just currently out of the country at the moment.
I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see it. The Trash Stash says, is Freddy Krueger a millennial? Millennial? Is Freddy Krueger a millennial? No, he wouldn't be a millennial.
No.
Millennials are people born 84 or 5 to 2001, I think. Some people like to say, no, millennials are 81. They're not. Millennials are not 81. I'd say 84, 85. If you're born in the mid 80s, you're a millennial. From, that point. I'm your boy.
Even that practical effect, man, when it's so fucking awesome.
It's so great.
It really is.
And when you really look at it, you can tell it's an effect, but it's great. It's so awesome.
I love the music here with the, that 80s synth sound and how it just picks up really fast.
Yes. And that cue, like that I'm your boyfriend now, that tells, oh shit, Glenn's fallen asleep.
Yep.
But then, that's interesting. Aaron Keller sends in a super chat. Thanks, Aaron. Sup, two dudes. Nice t-shirt, Dave, and sweater, Tony. Thank you very much, Aaron. Aaron is a Freddy Krueger cosplayer, by the way, for those of you that don't know.
Dave and Tony, beverage of choice when sitting down and watching a movie. Well, I'm tapping off a protein shake, but typically I just drink water. Other than protein shakes, all I drink is water.
Yeah.
And maybe Gatorade after a run, like a G2, just to get the electrolytes in me.
Yeah.
Glenn!
Here it comes. There it is! Oh!
Glenn's death
so
is
good.
also pretty badass. I will admit, because
It
you
is.
don't really see it. You see the aftermath.
That's
of
right.
What happens.
That's right. Oh, and there was a couple of cuts there. I don't know if you noticed them.
Yeah,
there was a couple little cuts.
And of course, we all know this is the same room where Tina dies. That's how they created the shot.
Yes.
They filmed it in upside down, and then they flipped it in post-production.
Right. Sorry, for a minute there, I thought you meant in the narrative itself, but no, you're right.
No, the actual filming process.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, so great. What a great, like, so inventive, so it's, you see, it's dreamlike, right? It's very surreal, but it's not overly sensational because it's all taking place grounded in reality. It's in our world. That's what was so great about the first Elm Street, especially, is that there weren't these lavish, crazy sets. They felt like dreams that you and I could have. They felt like nightmares that we would have. Do you know what I mean? They didn't feel way over the top like they got, in the later sequels. That's what was so frightening about watching, or one of the things that was so frightening, in my opinion, about watching this movie, is that they just
do you
felt
hear
so
the dogs barking in the background for the sound? It's not my dog, but do you hear it in the background
on the movie?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Okay, I thought it was my dog for a moment. I'm like, is she barking outside? Like,
no, I don't hear your dog. I don't hear your dog. No. Jacqueline McEwen, says, it's interesting that the other two deaths were ones that seemed plausible and could be blamed on someone else, and then Freddy does this totally outlandish death. Yeah, I think it's, I think you needed that to happen in order for the cops to start to begin to realize there's more going on here. You needed that subtle progression in the dream in order for the authorities, especially her father, to start to go, oh, wait a minute, hang on a second here, Otherwise, yeah.
Charty Dark. No, I do not have a YouTube channel. I used to, but no, I don't really do videos anymore. People ask me, would I ever vlog behind the scenes of the photo shoots that I do? If I do, Instagram started this new, well, it's been up for a while now, called Instagram TV, where you can post like 10 to 15 minute videos. That's probably where I'm going to start doing that, because I have thought about doing behind the scenes and showing you guys the process of what.
That'd be awesome.
What I do, and when I'm working with someone and when we're collaborating, and showing you guys how we scout the locations and getting all that stuff up. So if I do, when I do it, it'll be on Instagram TV, a part of my Instagram page that you guys follow me on. I'm not going to do it on YouTube. YouTube is just a fucking cancerous platform. I hate it. And then of course, like we were talking about earlier about getting demonetized for just everything. Now it's just like, I put all this work and effort in, not that, we're doing it for the money. That's not the point. It's just like, what's the point of putting all this work into something if you're just going to have copyright strikes, and then you're going to get like the idiots out there in the world and be like, well, your photos are okay. I like it here, but I could have done this better, but I've never fired a photograph in my entire life, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? It's,
I understand.
That's the cancerous part of YouTube and why I don't want anything to do with it.
No, I get it. I totally get it. Nancy, now we're at the scene where Nancy is
realistic, simple booby trap.
She's building her simple, realistic booby traps.
Today, now it'd be. Just
I said booty traps. What?
Booby traps.
Booty trap. That's what I said. Goonies reference there.
I just listened to a good podcast with Corey Feldman. He was on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and he was talking about some new stuff about the Goonies and sharing some things with him and Sean Astin and whatnot. So
nice, very nice. Gamer. Oh, night. He's running for president. Must be talking to somebody else.
Dave is running for president.
I'm running for president. I can't, but I'll try.
You should.
I should. I should
go
try.
Up against Trudeau next time around.
Yeah. Well, it's prime minister, but I could, but no, I'm going to
Prime
run.
Minister McRae.
I'm going to run for the American presidency of the White House. And when they say, sir, you're not American, I'll say, yes, I am. I love this. I love this line here. He's been in the John puking ever since he saw it. I think that line is in the trailer, the original Elm Street trailer. And imagine what you think when you're watching this trailer. Holy, like, how bad is it that the coroner who sees shit like this on a regular basis, I believe it was the coroner, is in the John puking. Because whatever the fuck happened in that room is too much for the coroner. Like, I love shit like that. That's
and
theater.
I love that we don't really see it. You know what I mean?
No, see, that's theater of the mind.
Yep. Because they could have gone all the way and shown us like what the
100%.
aftermath was like, but they didn't show us the aftermath.
The brilliance of that scene, and I mean this, the brilliance of that scene is that, one, you don't see the actual crime scene, so you don't see the end result of whatever the fuck happened in there, right? And
like and shit.
Right. And you don't ever see the coroner puking in the John. You just get there's some guy, and it's like, and then you fill in those blanks like, fuck, like, how intense is it? So you're imagining this crime scene and you're imagining the guy puking in there. That's great shit. It's completely unnecessary. We get it. We as an audience member get it. Holy fuck, like, that's intense.
Theater of the mind, baby.
Yeah, we don't need to see that shit. We get it. And it's much more effective. Because then you play on the drama of Saxon's reaction. Saxton, yeah.
Saxton, yeah.
Jim
Dorsey at Dave and Tony. Saxton. What is the scariest dream you've ever had? You know, I don't really remember my dreams, to be honest with you. I really don't. It's weird. It's been that way my whole life. You know what I mean? I don't know. Do you ever remember your dreams?
Well, I remember we're at the scene now where Nancy is setting her timer to 10 minutes. Yeah. No, I very rarely remember my dreams, but I do remember a reoccurring dream I had when I was a kid. I was living in Bolton, Ontario, for you people in the chat room that know where that is. A little town just north of Toronto. And I lived there from the time I was born to about the time I was 9 or 10. And I had a reoccurring dream, and the dream was I would wake up in the dream, not actually, wake up. But in the dream, it was like Nancy right now, like you find yourself awake, and I would go out of my bedroom, turn left, go into the kitchen, and then all of a sudden my feet would begin to start, it's like I had no control over my legs. I begin to run, and I would run down the stairs into the basement, and as I was approaching this dark room where my brothers slept, just before I got to the dark room, the Iron Maiden mascot, Eddie, you know Eddie from Iron Maiden?
Yes.
He would step out of the room like he would be like this, and then I would wake up. And that was a reoccurring dream I would have on the regular. And then when I moved out of that house, I have not had that dream in, 31 years. I haven't had that dream ever again.
The fact that you remember it is pretty cool.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that what's fascinating is that moving out of the house psychologically, I never had the dream ever again. So it's just really interesting. Yeah, but I would say that. Let's see here. Gabriel Knight says, Dave, I see Dylan's new Nightmare isn't looking good. You still going to do it if the goal isn't reached? Well, here's the thing. They want to raise $40,000 because it's a movie that is going to cost that much to do. I'm not a producer on the film, so from my understanding is that if they don't reach the total amount, they will shoot something. What that something is, I don't know. Something in regards to the script. But if you want the fully fleshed out, realized picture with me going up against Miko, then I think they need to raise it. Maybe not the full 40, but I think they want to get as close to it as they possibly can. I think they're sitting at about $15,500 now, which is, I mean, it's still $15,500. $1,000, but a $15,000 movie and a $40,000 movie are very different. And so I don't know if the campaign will be extended. It might be, but there's 6 days left in the current campaign. at the very least. The link is in the description for those who want to help support it, to see me play Freddy Krueger in a Nightmare on Elm Street fan film produced by the same guys that produced Never Hike Alone, the Friday the 13th fan film, as well as Cecil from The Horror Show and Renee Rivas from Renee Rivas Productions. And Miko Hughes, of course, the original Dylan Porter from Wes Craven's New Nightmare is reprising his role, and I've been tapped to play Freddy. So the link is in the description to the Indiegogo campaign. Any bit helps, guys. So to answer your question, I think if they don't reach it, they're going to do something, but I don't know what that something is. So hopefully they can get as much as they can to make it happen. Frank Riker Super Chat says, in each movie, Freddy died differently, which in my books makes him the easiest to kill. Thoughts? I don't know. That's a good question, Frank. I think he dies differently because he's essentially an entity. Right. So it's almost like killing somebody in a computer game, right, or something.
Thinking of new ways to kill him off and whatnot, and also thinking of new ways to bring him back, like a dog pissing fire on him.
God. Don't even. That was Elm Street 4, I think.
4, yeah. After such a great ending of Dream Warriors that just totally got shit on. It kind of reminds me of Halloween 4 and 5.
Yeah. And they had to recast Arquette as well. And then
which was a smart move because 4 would have just, she didn't need to be in that garbage.
No. But her character got killed anyway.
Killed off and they pulled a Rachel on her.
Yeah. I love that shot there where they rack focus to Freddy's gloves.
This whole boiler, the practical use of the real location is so on point.
So great. And I don't believe it's there anymore. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this old boiler room riddled with asbestos too? And they didn't even know it until after they shot there, I think.
The abandoned places I go into, I'm sure there's a lot of asbestos.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Whatever.
Only live once.
It's true. Well, as far as we know.
As far as we know.
Yeah. She's standing in the same spot where Tina was, and.
Well, plus I don't go into these things every day. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And that's right. And she's like, I love Nancy's arc as well, right? Now she's that strong. And listen, she's a strong female character,
right?
But it's earned, and you don't think
it's not forced.
No, you know it's not forced. She's just doing what she's got to do to survive.
Yep.
There's always been strong female leads. Always. I mean, not to the degree of the male counterparts, of course. I absolutely. But to insinuate that there's been never, I mean, that's just not factually correct. There has been. There it is. She's holding on to him. She's holding on to him. And then she wakes up. I love that. She wakes up and he's nowhere to be found. Or is he? He's about to pop up here. This is such a great movie. From start to finish, it's a great... Even if this movie was a one-off film, it would have been great. All the first installments of the big three would have been... The first Friday the 13th would have been the weakest of them, but still would have been a fine little 80s, whodunit kind of thing. Horror slasher. I like when she says, I forget the exact words, but she says, eventually it's like, I'm not afraid of you anymore. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And he's like, you what? Just the way he says,
you what?
What? It's so like guttural. You what? Something like that. Anyway, I love that. I love that voice. He's in here. He's in here. I love that. Get my dad, you asshole, or something she says. Yeah, that's great stuff. Great stuff. I like when he comes out of the bedroom.
Gets hit with the hammer.
Yeah, because
falls over.
Yeah, it's just got to be watch. Oh fuck! That's all you need in there. Just I should do it, dude. I should dub some shit into a scene like this and just fuck! Oh, come here, bitch! Now look at the lighting. Look how it's not that you can't see him at all, but
you see him just enough.
You see him just enough. Just enough. And the makeup looks wet and sticky and gooey and just somebody you don't want to be around.
Exactly.
I love that.
I'll kill you slow.
That's right.
Of course, we all know that this was a stuntman, right?
With the fire,
with
yes.
the burn, yeah.
Yes. And at one time, I don't know if it is still, I don't believe it is. At one time,
wasn't this the longest burn ever recorded on film?
Yes, at one time it was. Yeah, the longest continuous stunt with somebody on fire. Yeah.
I wonder if that's what like Wes told Robert in the studio. Hey man, could you just make some weird sex sounds?
Yeah, like look at this. Like he's still on fire. Like that's, and then does he get back up? And then he gets back up. Look at this. That's like a, and then now they would put him out for sure when he falls onto the steps. That's got to be a good 35 seconds or 30 seconds at least.
Yeah, over 30 seconds for sure.
Yeah. That's a long time to be on fire. And that would have been one take. Even though they did cut it, I would imagine that they're taking different I love how the steam and the fog is rising up there. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Zach Frederick says, but still SJWs exaggerate that there's not enough strong females, and why would there be equal amount of strong females in movies anyway? There isn't nearly as many female firefighters, police. I get what you're saying. Let's not get political here, but I understand what you're saying. I love that. I love the steps
on fire.
Yeah, the footprints and then leading up the stairs on fire. I love that. And then of course opening the door and seeing Freddy on fire again. So they actually did relight the stunt guy again to shoot this scene here. I mean, that's a lot of shit to do. I love that.
Very MTV. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True enough.
You know?
True enough. Yep.
Very MTV.
Yeah, but I love it. I love that. Look at that. That's so. Look at the hand coming up. It's like an animatronic at Disney World or something. You know what I'm saying? But it's good shit. Nobody knew any better. All you kids today, you're fucking desensitized to your Marvel spectacles and your high end shit. This is so awesome.
For us, this was amazing.
This was amazing.
You know, it goes back to like when you talk about movies like Star Wars. Could you imagine being in the theater for the first time seeing that? Like the holy fuck.
Oh
now
my God.
It's like nothing. It means
100%.
nothing to these kids. You know, unfortunately, it is unfortunate.
That's right. And then I love
Game O Night. Dave Tony, check out the documentary The Ninghtmare. It's about sleep paralysis. Yeah. Many people encounter an entity like, I'll have to check that out.
Interesting. We will definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
I love how she knows that he's not gone. She knows he ain't gone. He ain't gone.
ACDC. I'm not going to pronounce those numbers. Favorite surprise ending in a horror. Halloween 4. It's the one you never see coming.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Nobody could sit there and tell me they expected Jamie to be holding those scissors at the end of the film.
Dude, you should recreate this effect in a photo.
Planning on it. Planning on it. Trust me. Because there's a lot that's involved.
And I love how he
smoke and all that. There's a lot. It's going to take a team of people for me to recreate that. I love how he just
rips. Look at his face here. Look at his face.
Yep.
That's fucking mean shit. Now this is when she starts to take his energy away, and he's like, "You what?
Watch."
Yeah, here it comes. Yeah, I love it. What?
And then of course you get the MTV static.
That's right.
Freddy disappearing.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the 80s.
Yeah, it's good
cool
stuff.
Effect for the time.
It was cool. Here it comes. What? I love it. She's facing her fear. She's facing the dream. And they actually tell you to do that when you're having a nightmare. And you actually can do it. If you can lucid dream and take control of your dreams, you actually can stop the nightmare.
Well,
Of
now
course,
we get
here comes the
Bob Shea ending.
here comes the controversial ending, and I don't mind it. You know, I gotta say, it's never bothered me. I understand that it's not needed, and that instantly you kind of get a false sense of security here. And why is there smoke and all this kind of stuff on a beautiful day, and Nancy is still dreaming? But the question then becomes, when did she fall asleep? You know, she opens the door. Was she asleep the whole time? Was the entire thing a dream? Even the parents or her dad, you know, coming over with the cop, and like, was all that a dream? Lighting Freddy on fire? Is this just one long dream sequence? You know, those questions do come into play.
Yep.
But it didn't really bother me. I think one way of doing it without having the blow up doll of her mom pulled through the window, which again, I mean, I don't really mind.
You know what would have been really cool?
What's that?
Nancy walking out of the house. Her dad is with her instead of her mom. So her mom is gone. We know her mom, that Freddy got her.
Yeah.
And, you know, Nancy's going off to school by herself. And as she walks by, you see this. And then that's it. It's just the girls jump roping.
Yeah. Right. Because what I think is cool is that you don't even have to have the mother or the father. Here it comes. There it is, being pulled through, and there we go. You don't. I think it's kind of fun, but you don't even have to have that. All you have to have is the top come up, and you see it's red and green.
Exactly.
I mean, right then and there, if you've been paying attention.
Need the car. Yeah, you don't even need the car. That's what I would mean. You
don't even need the car, right?
No, you just all you need is, you know, maybe her, you know, Nancy's dad, you know, kissing her goodbye, and she's going off to school, you know, by herself, and as she's walking off by herself, you see juxtaposed to that is the kids doing the jump rope, which gives you the audience going, okay, is there more?
Right.
And then that's it.
You know what, Tony? That is brilliant, because it reminds me of my Halloween sequel concept idea video. It's really long, where at the end I end it with, it's not a thing where, you know, you see his eyes opening, or Michael, for all intents and purposes, is dead, but you just hear that one line from Dr. Loomis, and he says, "You fool," and it's just a voiceover. Right before the end credits, you hear him say, "You fooled them, haven't you, Michael?" Or, "You think you fooled them, haven't you, Michael?" Pause, "But not me." And then the credits roll. And it's a similar way where it's like, what? But you never make any. The trick is to never make any more. Right. That's the trick, because then it really makes that ending. It becomes a great, water cooler piece of discussion and talking about it. And you're right. You could have her just walk out and maybe walk down the sidewalk, and she passes and she doesn't acknowledge them. Right. She doesn't acknowledge them. She just walks by at all. She walks by them, and you just see them, and they're in slow motion. Right? 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
And then you cut to black.
And then you just 3, 4, and you see her walking down the sidewalk, and it's like, wait a second, why are these... We've seen these kids once before in this movie, and that was earlier, right before we were introduced to Glenn and everybody right before they went into the school. Why are we seeing this again? What the fuck? Cut to black, roll credits, that's it. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah,
that's how I would have done the ending.
Yeah, if you'd come to me and said that, I'd be like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Because here's the thing, for Bob Shea, it gives you the out of, we can do sequels. You know, that's your out for sequels. Yeah. But also for Wes, it can kind of be a solid ending. You know what I mean? You can look at it that way.
Yeah, I would have said to Bob, listen, this ending is more mature. It's more intelligent. It's not because what it does is it plants the seed of doubt in the audience's mind, but it's not serving anything on a silver platter. Right. You know what I mean? Let the girls tell you without telling you. When I mean girls, I'm talking about the little kids. Let the little kids jumping rope tell you, oh, wait a minute. I would have brought, I was like, Bob, we got to do this. Let's just shoot it anyway, Bob. Let's shoot it anyway. Maybe they did. I don't know. But yeah, definitely. No, I want to do this one. All right, Bob, we're going to George Lucas it. Let's do it. Let's George Lucas it, Bob. Bob wants to George Lucas it.
You know what, though? We really can't complain, because, if it weren't for Bob, he got the movie off the ground. And
he did. He did. And listen, it's not a terrible ending.
No, absolutely not.
It's unnecessary, but it's not I mean, listen, it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's classic in its own right. You know what I mean? So,
and it forever changed the not changed, but they created an icon of a character. You know what I mean? If not the biggest, he's up there in the big three when it's Freddy, Michael, and Jason.
Listen, I mean, Michael is the more popular one at the moment, and that's primarily because of where the Halloween franchise is and because of the type of character that Michael is. But if the 80s proved anything, it is that Michael may be the king right now. He may have the championship belt right now, but let's not, kid ourselves here. All it's going to take is some really good Freddy Krueger IP, some really good, like a really good
back on top
Elm
again.
Street film, and Freddy may be back on top. And same thing with Jason. There's a lot of Fred heads and a lot of Friday the 13th fans out there that are just waiting in the wings. It's that calm before the storm. Sure, you can have your Halloweens, you can have your Michaels and your Halloween Facebook pages and everything's Halloween. Sure, okay. But that's because Halloween is in the pop culture right now. It's because, good or bad, they've made so many Halloween films, and there's been only 2 Elm Street films. Think about this. In the time, look, you have H2O in 98, Resurrection in 2002, Rob Zombie in 2007.
Don't forget you got Freddy versus Jason in the middle of that.
No, true enough. But you have Rob Zombie in 2009. Then you have Halloween 2018. Then you have Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. So 7 movies there, okay? But between that, you had Freddy versus Jason, which was way past its due date as far as I'm concerned. And 2 remakes of either that didn't do very well at all. For all intents and purposes, Freddy and Jason are dead. The Elm Street and Friday the 13th properties are dead. But if you can do, and I'm not saying you hire Blumhouse to do them, I'm saying that if you can do what you did with Halloween with Freddy and Jason.
Well, in my opinion, I would prefer if Blumhouse were to take the reins of Friday the 13th, but A24 take the reins of Nightmare on Elm Street. I think A24 can really deliver, a good Nightmare on Elm Street type movie. Not saying Blumhouse can't. I just think with Blumhouse's style in horror filmmaking, they're more in the Friday the 13th.
I agree with that. I mean? I agree with that. I want to see a Nightmare on Elm Street film that is like, the only thing I will say is that Blumhouse, of course, A24 does as well. Keep the Elm Street film, the remake of Elm Street, keep it low budget. When I say low budget, I mean it's a $5 million picture. It is not this movie that is extravagant and wild sets. Go back to the roots, make Freddy scary again, keep it really psychologically frightening. Now imagine most of us have seen the movie Hereditary. Now picture how you felt when you were watching Hereditary. The feeling of the movie, the overall
creepiness,
feeling,
the
creepiness, the cinematography
simplicity of the creepiness. I should clarify that.
Right, the simplicity of just the eeriness of the overall sort of feel, the way it was shot, the pacing of the movie. Now imagine an Elm Street film that feels like that. It feels like an old school psychological horror movie, and it doesn't mean you can't have some blood in there and something. Okay, fine. But this is Dream. This is supposed to be getting into our psyche and fucking with us. And that's where I think you got to go to. You got to go to that. If your thing out of the gate is to have Freddy Krueger, it's a boy, and he's just a carnival barker, then it's like, fuck. Like it's going to be a one and done thing, and you're going to have these wild, crazy sets. It's like, we've seen that. Don't go back to Freddy's Dead Freddy. Don't go back to Dream Child Freddy. Go back to this Freddy, but bring him into the 21st century and make a horror movie that is genuinely frightening. This is a nightmare. Earn the title. Make the movie earn the name Nightmare. It's a psychological horror that we go, fuck, it's creepy to watch. Even when things aren't happening, it's creep. Even when something isn't happening, Hereditary is eerie to watch. There are certain horror films that are like that. The Exorcist is one. Go back to that. Go back to that
just
creepy
the scene
feeling.
there in Hereditary when she's doing that fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like,
frightening.
Nuts.
Yeah, frightening. Frank Riker, thanks, Frank, for the super chat. He says, D&T, would you make your own Freddy glove?
No, that's why I hire people to do that shit.
If I was...
Because I'd fuck it up, I'm being honest.
Same with me. If I was... Listen, my worst nightmare is when I buy something and I see some assembly required. I'm just like, oh, fuck.
Ditto.
I'm just like, Jesus
now,
Christ.
I can make alterations. Like, I made alterations to the Michael Myers mask that Chris Baber, who's a great supporter of Dave's channel, gave me that mask. I did make some modifications. Now, I can do that. I can tweak things to get it to what I know visually I want.
Right.
Like how I'm probably going to do some things here with the sleeves on my Freddy sweater to make it a little bit more like what Robert was wearing in the original film. Sure. That shit I can do. I can't fucking knit this shit for the whole. No.
I'm not like that. But what's really cool is that speaking of Dylan's new Nightmare, link in the description, by the way, if you guys want to help support the Indiegogo campaign, we still need your help on that. They are actually, Cecil actually has had his own Freddy Krueger glove made for the movie. That's cool. He's giving them essentially, I guess, but not really, because obviously you have to buy a perk in order to get one. But I think there's going to be, don't quote me on this, but I think there's going to be about, I want to say 15 to 20 gloves or something like that. Maybe it's a bit more as part of the perk. So you can actually have the glove that is in Dylan's new Nightmare. You can get to own that, and it's full on legit, like the gloves you see that Tony has or that I have or any of the Nightmare guys make. It's a full on realistic replica, but it's original because it was made for that movie. So really cool. But no, I couldn't make one on my own. I'd fail miserably. Zach Axiola says, do you have a favorite superhero character and or film? My favorite superhero character, when he's firing on all cylinders, is probably Superman. Yeah. I like Spider-Man too, but
I like Batty. I mean, I'm a big Deadpool, Harley Quinn fan as well. Yeah. But that's more in the books because we have a second Harley Quinn movie coming, and
that's true.
We've only gotten 2 Deadpool movies, but Joker's not a hero. I don't even know if Deadpool would be considered a hero. I've always gravitated more towards the villain, which would be why I'm a horror fan, like Joker.
Right.
Deadpool is more of an anti-hero. Same thing with Harley Quinn. I mean, Batty's good. Batman's good. I got to tell you, the more I hear about this Matt Reeves Batman, I am really fucking pulling for Robert to really knock this out of the park. I really am. Like,
yeah, me too.
I really hope I don't get excited about superhero movies, and the Tim Burton Batman to me will always be personally my favorite Batman.
Right.
Take nothing away from Nolan's at all. Those are great movies as well, but I like the key. This is getting me feeling that Keaton Burton Batman, from the late, when I was 10, I remember being excited because I remember that summer, seeing the Batman logo everywhere, just a simple logo. Yeah. We saw that shit everywhere, and I was excited to see the movie. Yeah, and of course it pays off. Yeah. This new Batman movie's getting me starting to think that way, and I've never been in an actor's corner before like this to say, hey man, just fucking make it your own. Don't try to copy anybody, and just fucking crush it, dude.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him too. I am. I really hope he knocks it out of the park. It would be great to see. Just going back, I don't think I missed. I think I did. I missed another super chat from Frank. Oh, no. I got that one.
You get it? We got them all?
Yep. I think we did. Yep. We got that one. Let's see here. Mecca525 says, when I was 6, my mom and brothers got me to stand in front of the mirror and call Candyman. So I did it. But then my brothers put a coat hanger in my throat. Since then, can't watch Candyman now. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Candyman. You got to say it 6 times, I think, or something like that. Isn't it like the Bloody Mary thing or something?
I did that as a kid. I did the Bloody Mary thing. Me and my sister did that. Me and my friends did that. Nothing. Obviously, we're still here, but
yes. Well, I think.
Or this would be a really weird stream right now.
There's a mirror right over here. Candyman. Candyman.
Wouldn't it be funny if, like, funny if be funny if all of a sudden you just see a hook come out of the screen and pull Dave off camera.
The hell was
okay, guys, I guess the screen is over.
Who would react that way? Who would look like kind of
Oh shit. We've gone off the rails. Tony Cosgrove.
Imagine that in slow motion.
You got a Jim Carrey thing going on there. Yeah, that was a Jim Carrey Ace Ventura thing. I was trying to think of which movie. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, good old
Tony,
Jim
good
Carrey.
Old Jim. Tony Cosgrove, you dig my work on Instagram. I appreciate it. Would I ever do a collaboration with another artist to recreate a scene? Absolutely. I'm always. If you live in the Georgia region, and you are someone who's, first of all, I look for someone who's dependable. And, depending on your height, your size is how I'm going to put you, to which character. If you're about 5'11" to 6 foot and lean, your chances are you're going to play Michael, or you'll probably play Ghostface. If you're 6 foot to 6'2" and big, you're going to probably play Leatherface, Jason, the bigger guys role.
Yeah.
Freddy is more me right now, because I had the silicone mask made specifically for my face, and honestly, I want to be in one of the photos. I want to have fun too,
Yeah,
I want everybody to do it. But yeah, no, like I said, I've had people reach out to me and, ask to collaborate, and no show or never hear from again. And when you do that one time with me, I have a policy. You no strike 2, strike 3, strike 1, you're done.
Right.
Like I don't, come back and ask again or whatever. Like if you,
no, you're a professional, and you don't have time for that. I mean, there are lots of people that reach out to me for voiceover work, and it's funny. There's been many times where I'll say, okay, what's the breakdown? What's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? And then I say, okay, well, this is how much it's going to cost, and their jaw hits the floor, and I think, well, I'm not doing it for free. I'm a professional. When you hire a professional, this is how much it costs. And if you think, and there's an old saying, if you think a professional is expensive, try hiring an amateur.
Yeah, and here's
which simply means that if you hire an amateur, you'll have to do it again.
And here's the screwed up part, man. I have everything. It's not like a person needs to buy anything. No. You just have to fit. I have everything tailored that to stay true to the characters. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to have a 5'4" Jason Voorhees. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to do that. I have everything tailor made specifically for certain heights and physiques, for the people to wear. So that's my thing. Like, I have everything made. All you have to do is show up. And just to get that part going, to get people, it's amazing, how many people flake.
I don't want to speak for you, but I could see you doing this. Would you, if somebody came to you and said, say there was a guy named, I don't know, John, and he was 5'4", and he was like, Jason is my favorite.
Like hire me professionally to do it,
right? To take photos of him for his personal, collection. Yeah, and hire you to take those photos. Yeah, that's different.
That's for like your personal thing, not for mine, but for if you wanted to hire me as your client, as a client, totally, absolutely. Then I don't matter. But when it's my Instagram, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I do try to stay true to the character. I think that's why you guys like what I'm doing on there, is because I do my best to stay as true as I possibly can.
Yeah, and I don't think that's.
But yes, you're 100%.
I don't think that's being a dick at all. That's the reality of the business. Look, I mean, it's the reason I would love to be Darth Vader, but I'm not tall enough to be Darth Vader.
Right.
And as much as I love Darth Vader, I would never, I'm not tall. Darth Vader, the actual guy who played Darth Vader, David Prowse, was 6'7". Okay, now that doesn't mean that if you're 6'3", could you not be? Of course, yes, you're in the ballpark, and you put on a pair of boots, and you're probably 6'5" anyway. But for somebody who's I'm like 5'8", I mean, I'm not and you put shoes on me, I could probably get to 5'9", 5'10", but I'm not Darth Vader. I'm a stormtrooper, sure. but nobody's gonna. How intimidating am I gonna be dressed as Darth Vader going to a convention when everybody who wants to take their photo with me is taller than me? Hey, what's going on, man? I mean, it doesn't happen that way. Stormtrooper, sure, no problem, I can do that. Yeah. So, but it's just the reality of it's reality. It's reality.
I get it all the time because I'm 5'10" and I'm the same height that Nick Castle was in the original Halloween, and the same physique. And and there's like 2 or 3 images of me dressed as Michael on Instagram, and I get the comments like, "I wish you were like, a little bit taller." I'm like, "Well, if you've seen the original film, then you wouldn't be saying that." Like, I'm thinking that in that critique. I'm not saying it, I'm not engaging with it, but when I see comments like that, I'm like, if you are a true fan, you wouldn't even bring that up because Nick Castle's not a tall guy.
Right. And the height thing is very interesting because we've had this conversation before, but there are people that have met Robert Englund who, and according to online sources, which you can never really trust anyway, you just can't. It's not that it doesn't mean it's not true, but there's no verify. Like, I mean, okay, it's a number on a page that place Robert Englund at about 5'11", and
I thought he was taller.
He's not.
Oh, he's not.
No.
How tall would you say he is?
I think Robert Englund is probably about, honest to goodness now, he's probably about, at best, 5'9", maybe 5.
Oh, so he's like best. Our height.
He is, because now when you pay close attention to Robert Englund when he's at cons and he's on stage, look at his boots. Look at the heel on his boot. I'm not saying it's like this, but I'm just saying he's always got these chunky boots. It's same with Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder's not 6'3". I mean, he might be 6'3" in his boots, but I'm telling you, Kane Hodder's not 6'3". So, and years ago you could wear these lifts or boots or whatever. Nobody's the wiser, but now it's
Gene Simmons.
It's a lot. Well, that's a little too big, but so. Robert Englund, if he is taller than me, he's not much. And you put a pair of boots on me anyway, just a regular pair of boots, and I'm 5'9". Yeah. So I mean, it's like I'm essentially that size. And Nick Castle's 5'10", so I'm in the ballpark there of playing the original Myers as well. Not a tall, he was not very tall. It's only when you get to George P. Wilbur, who's like 6'2" or 3, that's when you start to get. That's when
Dick
he's tall.
Warlock is 5'9".
Yes, I put on a pair of boots. I'm Dick Warlock.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't.
Dick Warlock is not a tall guy, which goes to show you how short the actors were working around Dick Warlock.
Yeah,
and how short Jamie Lee Curtis really is.
Jim Dorsey says Kane Hodder is listed at 6'4". He is not 6'4". Listen. Watch Friday the 13th, Part 7. There's many shots, there's master shots of, and because Kane Hodder, especially then, and I'm not knocking Kane Hodder. I love Kane Hodder. Yeah. His story is amazing. Kane, if you're watching, dude, I love you, buddy, but you ain't 6'4". And if you are, then I will eat my words. I will, but there's no way. I mean, look at him in Friday the 13th, Part 7.
No, I know,
dude. Shots,
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
The women in the frame with him are like the same height as him. So either all the women are 6'4", or he's 5'9", 10, maybe with boots on, he hits 6 feet or something. I'm not saying he's 5'9". I think he's taller than that. But it wouldn't surprise me if Kane Hodder was, 5'11", maybe 5'10", 5'11", puts boots on, he becomes 6 foot, 6'1", right? There's no way. He's just not 6'4", and Robert Englund isn't 6 feet either. He's not. They wear these chunky, soles, to make them, lift up a bit. So when I was I asked Cecil, I was like, I said, I'm 5'8", essentially. I might be a bit taller, but you put a pair of boots on me and I could be 5'9". So you all right with that? He's like, yeah, that's perfect, because that's basically what Robert Englund was anyway. I'm like, okay, that's great. Now I'm a bit thicker than Robert Englund. I'm a bit stockier. Robert, way back in the day, was, of course, now I probably, but way back in the day, Robert was very svelte, very slim.
Yeah.
I'm a bit stockier than Robert, probably from the years of running and all that kind of stuff. So I'm more kind of square a bit. but certainly I'm got the right height. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to it anyway. But yeah, there's no way Kane Hodder is 6'4".
See, like in Kenny here, Kenny
that's taller than James Jude Courtney.
Yeah, forget about it. Kenny, 5'2". You're 6 foot, 175 pound. You absolutely could be a Michael in my photos, and you could be not probably hockey mask Jason, but I would totally use you as Sackhead Jason because you're about at that height that you're right in that range, and you would work well as Ghostface. You're in that sweet spot for those three characters.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely, dude.
Right. Yeah. Aaron says he's 6'2". I have a picture with him at I'm a bit taller at 6'3". You see, look at
Aaron,
his shoes.
I've seen pictures of Aaron. He's a tall dude.
He is a tall dude. I beg to differ. I think Kane Hodder is 6 foot at best. At best. I think
6 foot
he's
and shrinking.
Well, maybe. I think I've met Kane in London. He's the same height as me, which is 5'11". See? That's what I'm talking about. He's not 6'2", man. I've seen Kane Hodder and Robert Englund at cons, and I've seen them on video, and look at their heels. They got big boots on, right? Because there's a certain image they need to project when they're there, right? They need to, they're meeting people, for the first time, and they need to, present, wow, look at this big guy. He's the guy. And I'm not knocking Kane. Listen, I'd probably do the same thing if I was this big and I was like, God, people see me as this larger than life character. Yeah. I better put on some fucking work boots today or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately for Kane, man, he got stuck. He's a great Jason that got stuck with the shittiest stories of the whole franchise.
That's so bad.
Only unfortunate, because I often think about. I know you're a fan of your boy there in part 4, but I often think if Kane did Jason from 3, 4, and 6. How much different those 3 films would have been as Kane Hodder as Jason, because it's unfortunate for him that he didn't get at least a solid film of him playing Jason.
And what's so great too is that
I mean, 7 is probably the best one of all. Like,
it's the best of his. Yeah, it's the best of his, but it's still a garbage movie.
Oh, absolutely.
But look at him in Jason Takes Manhattan. I love the guy.
I love the promotional thing of Jason Takes Manhattan, and that's it.
Yeah. What's funny about it is that Kane, especially back in the day, he was so not horizontally challenged. He was a very thick, ripped guy. So when you see Jason on the boat, there's this one faraway shot, a master shot where he's on the boat and he's walking along the deck of the boat, and he actually looks tiny because he's so horizontal. His vertical didn't catch up with his horizontal. If he had actually been 6'4", then it would have looked monstrous. Yeah. But he kind of looks like this all the time, in his, because he's so wide. But yeah, funny stuff. Yeah, I can tell you that it's interesting. So anyway, the point that Tony and I were making is that when Tony says, no, you got to be this height and this height and this height, that's not a dick move. That's what you got to be. I mean, I can dress up as Darth Vader in my own time for my own shit. I can get Tony to take some awesome photos of me. He'd probably go, low angle to make me appear taller,
Easily,
than I actually am.
Yep.
All that kind of shit. And that would be a lot of fun to share with you guys and maybe shoot a little, video or something. But if what's that professional Lucasfilm approved, the 500th or something with all like the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They would. Can you imagine if I was like, yeah, I want to be your Darth Vader? They'd look at me and go, you're not being our Right. You're fine. What the fuck? What the hell? You put on a pair of boots? You're not even going to get to 6 feet. Are you kidding me? And am I going to be offended? Of course not. I'll be like, yeah, of course, because the character is huge. He's huge, and I'm not. Huge.
You're saying it wrong. That's not how you're supposed to say it.
Huge. The character's huge. It's huge. It's huge.
I don't even have to say it. He knows what I'm talking about. I don't even have to say it.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things where I'd be like, hey, listen, I don't want to be a Darth Vader, but could I be a stormtrooper? Yes, you could definitely be a stormtrooper. Perfect. You know what I mean? Well, I couldn't even be a good Kylo Ren. I couldn't even be Kylo Ren.
I don't know if you could be a stormtrooper because, like Carrie Fisher says, aren't you a little short?
And I'm about the same height as Mark Hamill. So
what's the line? Aren't you a little short to be?
Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?
Yeah.
I could be Salacious B. Crumb. I'm Salacious B. Crumb.
Oh man.
By the way, I am wanting to get my own Salacious B. Crumb. I have emailed these guys that make him. He's not cheap, but it's a Salacious B. Crumb authentic looking puppet.
Okay.
It's a puppet. And I haven't heard back from them yet, though. I don't know if maybe they don't, I don't know if there's, but like their site is up and it didn't bounce back to me and he's still on the site. So I'm hoping maybe it's just they get a lot of emails. Maybe I'll eventually hear back. But I would love to have him because I would love to have him for my channel because I would do so many great stuff with him. And you wouldn't see me, you would just see him, you know, and he would be, it's like he's, you know, retired now and he has this normal sounding voice and he just talks to the camera and I'd have him out, you know, side in like a little toque and a scarf. Toque, by the way, that's what we call winter hats here in Canada, toques. Have like a, you know, a winter hat and a scarf and, you know, he's walking around. It'll be so fun. It'd be so fun. I need my little Salacious B. Crumb, but yeah, he ain't cheap. He ain't cheap, but it'll be worth it for sure.
Bobby Hall, dude, I know you've been asking me this question for a minute. I'm sorry, man. Tony, how would you rank the Halloween movies? I won't ask you, Dave, since you've given your rankings before unless it's changed. Then I can ramble this off real quick. Halloween 4, Halloween 2, 1981, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Halloween H2O, Halloween 2018, and Rob Zombie's Halloween. That's it. And the rest of them are garbage. I don't have them and I don't watch them. So yeah, there's just those 7 films those are the ones that I watch and will watch. So yeah.
Cool.
That's just my personal opinion, by the way. That's not like a definitive, like where the rankings, that's just my personal opinion.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll go for a few more minutes here.
What is yours?
My ranking of Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, off the top of my head.
The ones you watch.
Oh, the ones that I watch or just all of them?
No, just the ones that you watch.
Oh, well.
Because I know you don't watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I know you're not watching Resurrection or 5.
No, I'd probably...
Or 6.
Well, it would probably go pretty much in order. Like, it would probably be 1 and then 2, and then I don't really watch Season of the Witch. So it'd be 1, 2, 4, and then... Well, I've only seen the 2018 film twice, really. Well, technically, I've seen it 3 times. I saw it once at the world premiere, and then I saw it once in Hollywood at the Chinese Theater the day before it was released. I was treated to that, which was really nice. And then I watched it again, but I wasn't really watching it. I watched it again that Halloween night, giving live commentary on my channel. So I was watching it, but I was also answering questions and giving commentary. So I didn't really watch it per se. So really, I've only watched the 2018 film from start to finish. Like, I actually sat and watched the movie twice. And I know some people might be like, really? That's it? I've watched it like 900 times. Yeah, well, it's just not a movie I enjoy enough to justify watching it 900 times.
You got that right.
So yeah, it would probably go in order. 1, 2, 4, and maybe the 2018 film.
So we're about the same. You're 1, 2, 4. I'm 1, 4, 2.
Yep. Let's see. Michael Myers says, favorite scene from Terminator 2. Ooh.
We talked about this not too long ago, man. It always gets me is the fucking ending when he sticks up his fucking thumb and man.
I would say
James Cameron, you bastard.
I love the scene when Arnold first comes into the wherever Linda Hamilton is being kept, and she sees him. He comes out of the elevator and she sees him. And of course, I love that because it's like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, that is a dope shot.
It's you, the man that you're, oh my God. But then she falls to the ground and he's like, come with me if you want to live, or whatever he said. What is he?
Yeah,
is that what he says? Yeah, I think he says that. I know Reese says that in the first movie. I think he says that, whatever. And then it's like, what? But what? I love that. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Evan Rogers says, did you see Dark Fate? I did. We talked a bit about that while we were watching the film. I thought it was a serviceable sequel. I think it was great. But I thought it was fine. And the thing that happens at the beginning of the movie that is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, it surprised me. And I was like, oh. I think I was actually more surprised by the technology that was being used rather than actually what ended up happening. But that being said, there's so many people that said, well, now what happens renders part 1 and 2 obsolete. I don't agree with that, because I still think that what they accomplished in 1 and 2, what they were setting out to accomplish, they still accomplished. It's just that, something changed and the future changed. And so I was okay with it. And I thought it was nostalgia. It was fun. It was entertaining. It's not as good as T2. It's better than Genesis, I think. And certainly I enjoyed it more than Salvation. But I mean, it was fine. It was fine. Yeah. I mean, it was, but unfortunately I think the damage has been done and people just don't care about Terminator anymore. So.
True. E_S18, favorite movies to watch on Halloween. Well, typically for me, this year was a little different because Dave and I did the live stream on Halloween night and we watched Halloween. I did it this year reverse. I watched Halloween 2 before the stream, and then me and Dave watched Halloween with you guys. I typically will watch Halloween and then Halloween 2. I usually start at about 7 o'clock, and by the time all is said and done, it's 10 o'clock because both movies are about 3 hours in length if you watch them back to back. Right. And pass out candy to the trick-or-treaters. I've been doing that now as an adult because I stopped doing the party club shit like in my mid-20s. I never was really a big party guy. You know what I mean? I'll go to events dressed up and things like that. And the stuff that usually happens like the weekend prior to Halloween. Sure. But yeah, I just don't do that, the club shit. So I've been doing the Halloween 1 and 2 combo for a long time now since my adult. Do you have a particular movie you watch on Halloween?
Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, but that's not every Halloween, but yeah. But now, I mean, you see, way back in the day, well, I guess they did play it on TV, but there were never marathons. So right. It was always like, Halloween will be on Sunday night on NBC. And it was like an event. It was like, oh my God, clear the fucking schedules because it ain't going to be on again. Well, now AMC is running marathons of every Halloween movie for like a week, so it kind of takes, the novelty away. And I don't even have to pop in my movie anymore because I think Halloween was playing Halloween night as well. So Evan Rogers says, director calling people sexist didn't help either. I mean,
no, I know. I get it.
I don't think that alone caused Terminator to make $29 million at the box office opening week. I think that had very little to do with it. I think really what it is that nobody gives a shit about Terminator. And what happened is that there's been so many bad Terminator films, and the distance between those films has been very small. So the breathing room is not, very apparent. So, I mean, Genesis was just 4 years ago. So now you bring out Dark Fate and it's like, what the fuck? Like, and unfortunately, I think if Dark Fate had come out in place of Salvation, it would have been different.
No, I think what you just said a moment ago is you nailed it on the coffin, man, is that the IP of Terminator, it's not like you think people are sexist. Well, then explain to me the success of Halloween, led by a strong female cast of Jamie Lee Curtis, Andy Matichak, and Judy Greer. Whether I like her or not, it's still a successful movie. Yeah. Captain Marvel with Brie Larson, successful female led movie. So this whole thing that just sex, like I'm so tired of that fucking bullshit of people tossing that word out. It's like they toss out fucking racism now. Like, I don't think people are using these words properly. And like the director saying that's the reason why people aren't. No, it's just the IP of Terminator it's. I like you said it right. I don't think it's just catching people. I have no desire to go and rush to see it right away. Like I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah, it's just not there. I mean, look at what's happening with Star Wars, right? Now, Star Wars is Star Wars, and it's got that going for it. It's going to make $1 billion in its sleep. But you can see what happens when you make some movies that fans don't agree with. Look what happens, right? So the same thing happened with Terminator. I actually saw T3 in the theater, and I actually didn't mind it, but it didn't have Linda Hamilton in it. It didn't have Edward Furlong in it. James Cameron didn't direct it. Okay. And then Salvation, and then Genesis, and people it's
tiresome.
And Arnie is not the draw anymore. He's not a draw anymore. He's too old. Even though I thought he was great in the movie.
Do you think it's reached the point of what happened in the mid-90s with Halloween 6, where it was just like, we're done with this?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
it's like, we've beaten this horse, or
Yes.
we've gone to the well.
Well, and somebody even
you know,
said too, somebody said that, like Scream, which I was talking about earlier, look, there are some properties that aren't meant to be franchises.
Right.
There are some properties and some stories where you tell the story over the course of one movie, or maybe two movies, or maybe a trilogy, and that's it. The story is done. There is no more to tell.
Yeah.
And just because it's done so well, they find reasons, they make up shit to continue it. And that's not, listen, knock James Cameron all you want, poo-poo him on his Avatar. I actually loved Avatar, and I unabashedly will say that. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But a lot of people I know, well, fuck Avatar, you think, that's fine. That's fine. You can say that. But you got to give credit where credit is due. And although at first it seems silly, right? What? He's shooting how many more Avatar sequels? He's shooting what, 4 more? Okay, yeah, it seems a little strange, right? But first of all, number one, it's James Cameron. And he's had the highest grossing movie in motion picture history twice. Back to back, I might add. He did it with Titanic. Nobody was able to pass Titanic. And then he just passed himself with Avatar. And almost every movie he touches is gold. Aliens, The Abyss, True Lies, T1, T2, Titanic, Avatar. I mean, he makes good movies. Yeah. And he's got it all laid out. He's got it prepared. Now, that doesn't mean the movies are going to be good, but he's not making it up as he goes along. And that's sometimes a really good thing. He's got a plan, something this current iteration of Star Wars did not have.
Yeah.
So now JJ's got to salvage whatever he can from Rian Johnson's debacle and shit show. So it doesn't mean the Avatar sequels are going to be good, but I'm just like, sometimes having a plan really helps. And sometimes stories can be told in one, and maybe Terminator was told in 2 movies.
Well, like Zach Frederick here says, he said the same thing happened with Captain Marvel. Although it did well commercially, it upset a large part of its fan base. And if you're referring to the comments that she made, absolutely, I agree with that. But we can't deny the fact that the movie was a success at the box office.
It was.
They're going to do a sequel to it, But what Bree said, if you're referring to that, yeah, I agree with what you're saying there.
So many people need to understand that, look, do studios and filmmakers want you to like the movie? Yes, of course they do. Yes, they do. Nobody goes out to make a movie, and nobody goes out to make a shitty movie, and nobody goes out to make a movie hoping you'll hate it. That's not what happens. However, at the end of the day, they want you to like it. They hope that you like it. But if the movie makes $1 billion at the box office, they don't give a shit what you have to say about it online because they have your money. Now, where do you get them? If you want to make a point, it's not through stupid fucking petitions. It's not through JJ, stupid Avatar. It's not.
I'm just thinking
through
if someone
that.
just tuned in right now.
Hey, it happens. It's not through that. Where do you get them? You get them where it hurts. Yep. At the box office. Don't go see the movie. If you didn't like Captain Marvel and they make another one, don't go see it. Yep. Don't buy it. Don't rent it. The problem is people still go see it, so they continue to make them. But that's where you get them. Look what happened with Solo. Now, there's a variety of reasons of why Solo didn't do well. It wasn't just that people were upset about The Last Jedi. There was a few reasons. There was a couple of variables in there. But, that's what happens, right? If you don't like what somebody's doing, then don't give them your money. That's where you get them.
What's that old saying? Shit happens.
Shit happens, but nobody
Yeah.
goes out intentionally to make a movie that you're not going to. They hope you do like it. Too much money's being spent. Too much money is being spent. They hope you like it, but that's where you get them. Is you get them at the box office. Super chat from the Filmmatic says, late to the stream because I saw Dr. Sleep with friends and we loved it. My expectations were very low and the film really surprised me. Looking forward to seeing you guys talk about the film. We're definitely going to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a couple weeks before I get a chance to see it because I'll be
Same
in
here.
LA
I
next
didn't
week.
get a chance to see it because I was out of town most of the week this week. So I don't know if I'm going to see it next week. When I get a chance, it's not one that I'm going to rush to see it, but I am going to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Super chat from Aaron Rogers. Thank you, Aaron. Says, I just feel like it undercuts key moments with Kyle Reese and John and the idea of their fate, but what we take from
I haven't seen the movie.
ourselves.
That's why I'm taking this off.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I understand. And people are emotionally attached to John Connor. They're emotionally attached to, to these characters. And also, people have been wanting to see Edward Furlong reprise his role of John Connor. And although he didn't actually reprise his role technically, although he did from a certain point of view, it's his likeness, right? And then what ends up happening, it almost feels like they've destroyed what you've loved. But is it but did they, or did they make a real ballsy move to, take a risk and say, well, if Terminator is going to continue, we got to do something. And maybe the future has changed and it makes it interesting and blah, 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 blah. But I don't think it ruins the first two films at all. But I can understand why somebody, because you're emotionally attached to the character, especially Furlong as that character, why it might rub some people the wrong way. But it's a risk. It's a ballsy move that I support. Hey, you can't please everybody, right? So it's interesting. Anyway, we're back.
Michael Myers is saying Joker is now the highest grossing comic book movie of all time. Is that domestically? There's no way it's past the Avengers films.
No. It's it's the highest grossing rated
R.
R.
It's gotta be R. Yeah, I was gonna say R-rated film. Yeah, no, I saw that this past week as well too. The headline. It's like, man, there's no way that shit passed it. Endgame.
No, it's the highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Yeah.
And
which is great. I love it. I hope they do a sequel. I really do.
And you see, folks, make great stories. That's what it's all about. Make great stories and characters that we can care about and invest our time in. And it's great. To be fair, obviously, Joker had one of the most iconic superhero villains of all time going for it, even though I don't consider it really a comic book movie. It's more of a psychological thriller because they're just using the archetype of the Joker to get your ass in the seats, as you've heard me say 1,000 times. That movie can be about anybody, but not everybody would go see that movie, right? But you use the Joker character to tell this story and it gets people in the seats. But the Joker is not imperative to telling a story. You could tell that about me. You could use me as the main character, but the movie's not going to make $1 billion with me in there. You use the Joker as the character and it does. It was brilliant marketing, whether you realize it or not. That was on purpose and they totally bought you hook, line, and sinker. And thankfully the movie was really good too.
Yeah.
So, all right. 2 more minutes. Take it to 9:30. 2 more minutes.
Did you
Chris,
get all the super chats?
I believe I did. Okay,
cool.
I did.
Just making sure.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Yep, I believe I did. People let me know if I didn't, but I believe I did. Christina Anthony says they don't need to make sequels to these movies just because they make money. Oh, yes, they do. Take that money and put it towards another movie. Well, it's a business, right? And they will continue. I agree in principle with what you're saying, but if something makes a lot of money, then they make a sequel to it because they know that they're going to capitalize on the excitement and the draw for that, right? And that's it's a business. It's a business. Yeah. So if a movie makes $1 billion, the chances of them making another movie of that character is highly likely. Yeah.
Maca525, is there any way we can buy some of your work? Not at the moment, but soon. What I am doing is working with an artist to do caricature versions of my photographs for t-shirts and stuff. I can't use the IP name like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, but I can take my photographs and make cartoon caricatures of my photographs of the people dressed up in the costumes
Very cool.
that they are wearing and sell t-shirts. Like I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna probably do, is sell t-shirts. As far as the actual physical print, I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but I'm definitely gonna do t-shirts, like I said, of a caricature cartoon version of my photographs.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Aaron Keller says, I looked it up. Kane is actually an inch taller than I am at 6'4". No, he's not. No, he's not. Kane is not 6. Kane, I love you, but you are not. If you're 6'4", then see, that's that's supposed to be your base height, right? In your bare feet, your sock feet. Well, if Kane is 6'4", then that means as Jason, he could be like what? He's fucking Tyler Mane? No, he's not. What, he's 6'6"? I know Tyler Mane is 6'8", but I'm just saying, so Kane puts on boots and all of a sudden he's 6'6"? No, he's not. Kane Hodder is 6 feet at best. Robert Englund, 5'10". That sounds about right. I could buy that.
I can buy that.
It
looks about right.
Evan Rogers says, I just can't help but feel it was done for political reasons and I wanted a redemption arc for Eddie Furlong.
I haven't seen the movie. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I didn't feel that. I think because a lot of people are hypersensitive to these types of things today, we tend to go into them looking for those things. And if you want to see those things, you will see those things. Watch Terminator 2 or watch some older films before all of this social justice nonsense and watch it with the eyes of, can I find anything in here that could be perceived as sexist or social justice or preachy or whatever? And I bet you would be able to, even though it was at a time when that wasn't really going on. I'm not saying that those things don't exist, and I'm not saying that there aren't certain things that are not being pushed. There definitely is, but it's not in everything. So I think we gotta have to remember that. Let's not get it so worked up that we think it's just, as soon as there's a girl on screen or she has a gun, well, there it is. It's not, it doesn't mean that, right? So, but I get what you're saying. Okay.
Grave Warmer asked this question earlier, and I forgot to ask it, and now he re-asked it here, and I want us to answer this because I think this is brilliant. Do you think Daisy Ridley is too big of a name to be a final girl in a low-budget horror movie? No one's ever too big unless they're a prima donna, or cost too much after her success in Star Wars. I don't think her bill is as big as you guys think it is. No. And he thinks that she would be a good fit in the Nightmare movie. Yeah, actually, when you think about it, if you look at Daisy Ridley and you look at Heather Young, she could be a Nancy.
She could be. Yeah, I don't think.
But they'd have to get her now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think Daisy Ridley's too big at all. She hasn't done anything else other than Midnight on the Orient Express.
And that's not just her. That's an ensemble.
It's an ensemble. And of course, there is that other one with Tom Holland that is still yet to be released. And that's essentially it. I know she was a voice in Peter Rabbit because I did the trailer for that. And I remember being like, oh, that's really awesome. But no, I don't think she is. And she's not.
She would be a great addition.
She would be, because she's very attractive and she's got a sweet girl next door look to her. But no, I mean, these salaries, what would her salary be? I'm trying to think. Her salary for The Force Awakens was,
I think it was 100, right?
I think it was $100,000, something like that.
She's not making $1 million.
Now some people might say, what? Just $100,000? Well, yeah, she's a nobody. You can get some. It might have been a couple hundred G's.
Where she's banking her money,
very low.
And where she's banking her money is what she does promotionally, the modeling and the products and brands that she's. Right. That's where she's legitimately making her money.
Would her salary go up? Is she getting paid more now in The Rise of Skywalker than she was in The Force Awakens? Yes.
Well, maybe is her $500,000?
I think it's more than that. I could see.
She ain't making $1 million. There's no way.
She might be. If she is making $1 million, it's low. It's like a 1.2 or something to that degree. I think it could be low, because you have to factor in everything else they're putting towards it, right. or it's the high 6 figures. Okay. But I could see it being 1.2. Something like that, maybe, or it's low, but she gets a back end from a toy, or I don't know. But no, I mean, she's not making $10 million off of The Rise of Skywalker. No, not at all. So yeah, you absolutely could. I think you could get her. You could get her. Yeah.
If they were to reboot Nightmare, she would be a top candidate for me to play that Nancy Thompson role.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Let me just look up something here while we're still here, just a little bit. Of course, you don't believe everything you read, but
What do you mean? Don't believe everything you read online? If it's online, it's definitive.
no, that's true. Let me just see what, because I remember what they did to the Force Awakens. I want to make sure I got this right. John Boyega and Daisy Ridley both made between 100 and 300,000 for the Force Awakens.
Okay.
So 35. Yeah, it could be high six figures. You know.
Yeah.
Could be.
Dave, you should voice Popeye in a reboot. Super chat from Zach Frederick.
Oh, well, thank you for the super chat, Zach. You
Yes.
said that. Let's see here, Zach. So, yeah. You're right in the sense that it might not be, but if she is making $1 million for the Rise of
Below
Skywalker,
million.
oh, like 1.2, like I said, like it's barely.
Right.
It could be. I'd be stunned if we found out that her salary was like 3 or 4 million. I'd be stunned at that and that would have been built into her contract from the very beginning because they knew they were making 3 movies anyway.
Sure.
So that would have been built into the contract from the very beginning. Well, if it makes this much money and if it's this successful, and then
she will get residuals, right? She should for the rest of her life with these films. I mean,
she'll get something. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. She'll get something. Dave, you should voice Popeye and thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. Popeye. I can't even do a Popeye. Whenever I think of Popeye, I think of Robin Williams.
Yep.
Let me see here. The Smokies S says, Dave, are you allowed to say if the Freddy face that you will portray will be makeup or mask? No, yes, I can. It will be makeup. Yeah, prosthetic makeup. I'm getting that done a week tomorrow. So next Saturday, I'm meeting with Nora and Cecil, who I think is going to fly in from Phoenix. And then I think Vince DeSante might even be there, and Miko might be there as well.
Cool.
Because I think Vince might be getting something done for his Never Hike in the Snow or something. So there might be a couple birds being killed with one stone. And so that's, in case you guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I shaved my beard off to just the goatee because eventually I'll have to shave off my goatee to get all the mask done and everything. So it's going to be makeup, like full on old school Robert Englund, where they apply it to me. And that's why I'm getting it molded to my face. So they wanted to do makeup. So the close-ups, when they have me on, it really looks legit. Like I'm moving all around and you don't see that, oh, there's a bit of a dip for the lip or something like that. Like the silicone masks they're the next best thing. But then if you want to take it just that step further, you got to do the prosthetics. And the only way to really, to do that,
in the ass.
it is, but I'm like, let's do it. And I'm not paying for
absolutely.
it. So.
Blu-ray Addict, thoughts on them doing a Frasier reboot?
It's funny you asked that.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on that because I actually thought that Cheers, they could actually reboot Cheers right now because of the ages of all these characters. And my idea, if I were to reboot Cheers, would be Sam Malone ends up having a daughter who's just like Sam Malone, and it drives him fucking bonkers. And who does she fall in love with? Fraser Crane's son, Frederick. Freddy lives in Boston still, so there's that connection to Cheers. And you have this and Frederick is just like Frasier. He's that guy who's just going to fall in love and get his heart broken by the, in this case, the Sam Malone type character, which in this case would be the girl. And there's certain other characters that you could bring in for like Carla's kids who are now grown up, who aren't doing much, who could totally play like the Carla type character. And you could have Carla on the show. You could even bring the Frasier cast into this Cheers reboot and have Niles show up with Daphne for an episode or two or whatever, visiting his nephew in Boston. There's a lot that, they could do with a Cheers reboot versus to where the direction I think they're going with Frasier. I'm like, I don't know.
I just want to say this. I'm reading this off of, this is according to Variety. Is it according to Variety? Yeah, according to Variety, John Boyega and Daisy Ridley may have struck multi-million-dollar deals for The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, good for them. Hey, man, if they can get it, man. Get it while you can.
I'm surprised, but when I think about how much The Force Awakens made, I keep forgetting that. It made $2 billion. Obviously, it would be less than that because that's total gross. And I'm thinking, Yeah, which is why I thought 1.2. Yeah, I mean, but if it is, it's like we're talking like it's not like 20 million a picture. It's not like that. Like that's fucking like Harrison Ford in the 90s level. Like we're talking like if it is multi-million, yeah, maybe 3 to 5 mil, maybe something like that. Maybe I could see that. So well, yeah, okay.
This dude on Instagram just sent me and you a group message. He's 6'1", and his friend is 6 feet, and I guess he's standing here with Kane. Is that Kane in the Part 7 outfit?
I don't know. I can't see.
It looks like it because he's got the gloves on, and Kane's the one who rocks those gloves. I think it's to hide his scars, right? That's why he wears those gloves.
Yeah.
It's a cool picture. Cool picture, dude.
Very cool. So what?
Oh, and Aaron Keller sent one here too. And Aaron's a tall guy, and yeah, I mean, you know, Nick. If I'm seeing this right, either your camera was off or Kane Hodder's got some really fucking tiny legs in this photo, bro. Like, what in the hell happened? It looked like he's like big from the waist. He looks like a cartoon, like those cartoon muscle guys.
Yes.
He's literally big from the waist up. He's got these tiny little fucking legs in the But in defense, it could be whoever was taking the photo for Aaron. The way it's angled could just the illusion of the optics of the lens. That does that. It will everybody. That will happen to everyone who's big. It'll create that optical effect of making your legs look tiny like a cartoon character.
Zach Frederick says, actually, it made 3 billion. Last Jedi made 2 billion. No, that's incorrect. The Force Awakens made 2 billion. The Last Jedi made, I think, 1.4 billion. I think you're incorrect. That's not correct. But having said that,
I make 1.4 billion when I get up out of bed.
Right. I just made it now. Now.
Wait.
No, so that makes sense
again, but in Trump's voice.
No. I just made 4 billion getting out of bed. Okay, 4 billion now. There it is again now.
Dude,
Melania,
why don't you? Oh no, never mind. I understand.
Melania,
why don't do this.
No.
I was gonna say, why don't you do a Trump impersonation video? But then I was like,
I should do it now. 1 billion.
Because it's so good. It really is. I mean, people took it from the comedic point of view and not like he's making fun of Trump. I think it would be cool. But in this day and age, man, people would freak out.
I love the Family Guy episode where they had Trump and he had little hands. So great. Yeah. Okay. So their salaries. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Because okay. All right. I thought it would have been in the, like I said, the low million. Like I said, but I said 1.2. I guess it could be a couple mil. It could be. Yeah.
Hey, if she got that, man, more power to her. I'm glad.
Good for her.
Yep.
Good for her. Grave Warmer, super chat for $2. Thank you, Grave. All right.
Grave.
We got to get out of here. That's going to do it for us here on this episode 45 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. There will not be a Two Dudes and Some Bullshit next week because I am going to be away in Los Angeles. But you'll know because I plan on doing uploading photos and maybe a live feed or whatever. And I'm gonna also, if I can, depending on how the afternoon goes, of course on Eastern time it'll be closer to this time. I'll try and stream from Warner Brothers on the back lot there where the red carpet is happening, all that kind of jazz. So we'll see. We'll see if I can. It all depends on how busy I am and if I'm able to do it or not. But that's where I'll be starting next Tuesday. So there will not be episode 46 until I get back.
Hey, by the way, not only is tonight or tomorrow the 35th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street's release date, but November 4th that just passed, that was our very first Two Dudes and Bullshit episode. Passed. I checked it. I went to see I didn't know how close we were to the 1 year mark, but we just passed the 1 year of doing this show on November 4th.
I didn't know that. Wow.
That was when and we talked horror movies that night.
Yes, we did. Wow. Hard to believe.
A year's gone by. Doesn't seem like it. A year has gone
by, and we've done 45 episodes.
Which is almost an episode a week.
Almost an episode a week.
It's close. 52 weeks in a year. It's close.
Yeah, because there's a few weeks in there where, because of the holidays or, whatever reason. Yeah, Really cool stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody who tuned in and watched. Thanks, everybody who watched after the fact. And, of course, thanks to everybody who supported the channel through Super Chats. You guys rock. You guys are amazing. Tony Michael's link is in the description to his Instagram. All my links are down there as well. And, yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. We will talk to you guys. I was going to say...
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah,
2 weeks.
It'll be roughly 2 weeks. Yeah, that's right. All right.
Right around turkey time.
Right around turkey time. Turkey. And I don't even have turkey because I celebrate my Thanksgiving in October. But I will live vicariously through you guys, salivating in I gotta get the fuck out of here. The sturfy and the stucking.
Yeah,
the sturfy and the stucking.
When the English goes, it's time to go.
The sturfy and the stucking. The turkey and the stuffing. All right, that's it for us. We'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.